Welcome to the Dynasty podcast. We are back. This is pod 5. I'm going to keep the intro very snappy. I'm not going to get emotional. And we're just going to talk about what we're going to lay out today. We're pretty excited about it. Ben and I have both had a decent amount of time to prepare for this one. I think as we get closer to the season and talking about all the results of the off season, it gets pretty fucking exciting. We're not too far away from there it was fucking. We're not too far away from the kickoff to the season. So today we are going to discuss just a little NFL talk, top 15 dynasty running backs, and then Ben's going to go over the amazing work that he put into the draft grades of every single person. And as I told Ben, I can only probably do the
It's
first
one
three
man's
rounds.
work. It's not amazing work. It's just one guy's opinion.
I can't evaluate fourth, fifth, and sixth rounders when I don't even know who half of them are. So that is great. I will put myself on the line in the next week on the first three rounds and my grades on those, and we will update the Google Doc there in the message board. After that, which I'm committing to, which I never committed to doing in the first place, but that's okay. Um,
You did
then
never commit to that, to be fair.
no,
I was trying to put
okay.
pressure on you to do it.
Thank you, Ben. I appreciate that. Um,
But then I was sad that you didn't, and I took it a little, took it a little
well, I
personal.
think it's important. I think it's important that everybody does understand that Ben and I are really, really trying hard. I will give him credit. I had to move today's recording because I'm going to my favorite band, a concert in San Francisco tomorrow, the Red Clay Strays, in case anybody's wondering. Ben
Red
completely
Clay.
was flexible. He had a buddy in town that's one of our dear friends from Holland, the Netherlands, with his family, and he dropped everything after he probably could have stayed out for karaoke. I know he got started. Ben, what Ozzy Osbourne song did you drop on the crowd for opening song tonight to memorialize Ozzy?
Well, I appreciate you trying to say that I was the one victim here, but really I was actually late because we went and had dinner, and then I got to go food, and then I dropped them off for Sharky's, and I was like, hot food, getting home to the fam, ready for the podcast. DJ walks in, he says, Ben, Ozzy died. What are you singing to open up? And I'm like, wait, I'm leaving right now. And then I was like, well, I would be a true asshole if my
Did you sing
DJ
Mama
asked me
I'm
that.
Coming Home with Did you sing Mama I'm Coming Home with Thai food?
I did not actually. I think my wife did get some pad thai and some sushi. But that was a good guess. No, so I did have a sake bomb right before. So it was like, okay. However, it was like, I mean, nobody really has seen footage of me singing or whatever. Like, I'm not that good. I'm like a performer than a vocalist.
You're an entertainer.
Yeah, exactly. Like, so it's like, okay, Ozzy, this is pretty intimidating. When he said it, the funny thing is I went up and I'm like, all I could think about was like, it's the first song. So I have to do like the slowest song. Like, I guess I could have done like Crazy Train or you like open it up. So like the first thing came to my head was Black Sabbath's Changes.
Mm.
And it's like all piano. It's like probably the least metal song Black Sabbath ever did. But it's incredibly emotionally Ozzy.
I think it's
So,
important to let everybody know that Ben and I have this weird thing through text message. When anybody of importance dies, we try to write RIP person before the other person does.
oh,
It's kind of a
is
thing
that a
that we've been
game we
doing for a
have?
very
Did I lose
well,
that?
it's been going on
Did you
for a
write
long time.
RIP Rozzy? I don't think you're dead. So are we
No,
still
I
pending a
thought
winner?
about it
Do I
and
need
then
to write right
no,
now?
no,
No,
yeah,
that's
you would win.
because you don't like Ozzy, so that would be for me. So
No,
like a stick figure
I
died in a plane crash, I would have to instantly
No,
Uh,
I don't think he would qualify as a person. Stick figure wouldn't qualify in that game,
I
but
don't
it's
know. You
usually
played a lot of
like,
stick figure when you were
you
here
know,
last time.
we missed the other guy, the guy from Michael Madsen too. Nobody RAP'd him, and I thought he was of
I
importance
did.
enough
I
to
guess I should have in our group.
not in chat that I
Yeah, but
remember.
we don't
But
agree a lot in movies. I thought you, for all I knew, I thought you
we
could have hated Michael Madsen. We don't agree a lot on film. We talk a lot about a film, but we don't agree a lot on.
well, we like it's just like our music taste, our clothes taste,
But I
our
think
women taste, our life tastes.
you're
Like we just
very
have different
fair. I
styles.
should have assumed that you are a Michael Madsen fan because that's
Well, I mean, come on. I
he's that
mean,
good.
he's
And I know we
he's
both
a
like
he's a
Reservoir Dogs, so like, yeah,
he's a Tarantino
I should
guy.
have
I
done that.
mean, like,
But
yeah.
you
I
didn't
mean,
either,
he had.
so par for the course.
Well, we're gonna have to keep that game alive forever. So
Well, now I
anyway,
know it's a game. I'm gonna step it up. I didn't know, and I apologize.
it's just one of those unsaid things.
So,
Kind of
anyways,
like kind of like you're a hard ass and I'm
you
emotional.
know what was
You know.
funny though? When I went up to sing and open, the guy ran up to me. Some guy ran up to me and he's like, "Are you singing an Aussie song?" And I'm like, "Yeah." And he's like, "Which one? Because I just signed up." And I'm like, "What one did you sign up for? Because I'll just do a different one." And he signed up for "Mama, I'm Coming Home."
Well, that's the last song
So
that he sang, I believe.
So, so I did change. I was gonna do changes just because it was mellow, and "Mama, I'm Coming Home" is very mellow too. So it's funny.
Mama, I'm coming
Yeah, as soon as
home.
I was saying
Yeah.
my goodbyes and like I need to get the fuck out of here and do this podcast, he started, and he was actually very good. So, and his wife was before him between it all. Not an Aussie song, but pretty good. Anyways, meanwhile, back in the
Little
ranch, let's
karaoke
talk
advice:
fantasy.
don't ever follow
Don't
a guy
ever
that's
tell
super excited.
anyone in karaoke. This is karaoke advice. Don't ever tell the DJ you're good. Because
Hmm.
if you're really good,
They'll just
you
drop
would
all the
never
auto
tell
tune.
anyone you're good. And if you tell a DJ you're good because you're karaoke good, it actually makes them
Oh
wait for
God.
trash.
I love you, dude. All right, we're gonna move on. That
That
was
was good life advice, though. I was a
it's a
karaoke DJ
perfect
for 15 years. It's the least I could do.
it's a perfect connection to our relationship in some sort of weird way.
I'm not good at
Um,
relationship advice, clearly.
all right. So after the top 15 running backs, Ben's gonna do his draft recap and his grades on everybody, which we're gonna keep a little bit
Yeah,
short
very
because
quick.
we've already talked about it.
Everyone who gives a shit probably looked at my grades. They're just grades, and I will give a quick run
It'll also
by.
be incorporated. It'll also be incorporated into our evaluations of each
Yeah, hey man,
teams as
you
we move
draft like
forward. So
ass. We're gonna see what your team looks like.
after that, we are going to discuss the auction because wow, what an amazing event that was. Very interesting. The Ben and I both rated every single auction player that was taken,
Well, it's
and
really
we had a
nice.
grading scale.
Sorry to interrupt you, Corey, but it was very nice that like once the auction finished, which it hadn't from our last discussion, you could
Yeah,
kind of sort and organize and see what people did.
yeah,
You know,
yeah.
because like
So
I thought about even like where we were criticizing about like picks and stuff. I was like, man, like I don't even know if that was really good for that roster or not, or the decision make. So that's going to come in these videos where we're talking about the divisions. Like it'll be the accumulation of that, but I think I learned a lot more this last week looking at the auction as a whole, which we'll discuss.
little spillage there when I was trying to refill my
Nobody saw that. I was
water.
talking. I think the screen was on me. You could have got it with that clean slate.
Yeah, well, I admit my failures. Um,
Man, I might get six
and then
beers down on this
after,
podcast. We're gonna have to be careful.
yeah, we this is gonna be a wild one. So in short, Ben and I both ranked the auction selections based off of good value, bad value, or meh. And we're going to talk about only three guys did we completely disagree on. And then we're going to also give a few more tidbits
I
on the
never saw
auction.
yours, by the way. So like I'm
Well, that's
actually
okay.
no, it's fine. Like I for everyone to know, I sent Corey like my spreadsheet and stuff, like and so I actually like that he's coming in hot with his counters because I have no idea and it's going to be good.
Yeah, it's always better to disagree or agree
Or
live
be
on air, I would
surprised. I
imagine.
mean, I'm okay
Yeah.
being surprised.
On that note, we're also then going to do our first division recap of all the individual owners and talk about where we perceive them to finish within their division 1 through 8. We both kind of approach that slightly different, but
It's
with
okay.
the main aspect of talking a little bit about some of the new owners and how they did in starting their rebuild and maybe what their long-term assets are versus some of the more experienced owners that are definitely competing this year. It's a very interesting division. I'm not going to spoil how I feel about the division, but I would say on a scale of 1 to 4, it's not at the top of the list. But
The division isn't.
that's no, I don't think so.
That's
But
fine.
there's a couple of reasons behind that, and we'll get to that as well. So hopefully everybody will kind of enjoy the BC specific pod tonight. Again, just want to call out all the people that commented on our last pod. It was encouraging, I would say, to have more interaction and just hear people that are listening and giving feedback. We're going to continue to take that feedback and try to improve. One thing I notice is I say a lot, and I hate the fucking shit out of the phrase I
I
am
say
going to try
like
so
and
hard.
proper grammar is
Oh,
becoming too popular. We should be shitty like that.
the thing is probably one of the most annoying things that I've ever listened to. The person that's the worst at it is Matt Waldman, who I respect a lot as an evaluator of talent, and I use his
Man,
rankings
I
and blah
got
blah blah.
so much more
But he's the
catchphrases.
worst.
You're correct that but because his is condescending.
He's unlistenable on a podcast.
It's not
I'm sorry.
true. You have to. It's like listening to
I can't
really
tone it out. I can't tone it
people you
out.
don't
So
agree with. You just have to tune out the noise and like kind of like get through it. But I agree.
I mean,
Uh,
I give presentations in front of very large groups of people, and I think there's something about being prepared. Obviously, when you're searching for the next words you're going to say, as opposed to being prepared to
there's
say
something
them.
very
Like, obviously,
off-putting about a condescending, you know, and he does that. Yes.
yeah, I just think
But I
it's
was
more of
just gonna
a
say something else that was like a transition that I cannot stand that's in podcasts anymore, and I forgot it. But it's something just as bad, where everyone just subs this. Well, oh, we're at the same time. 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 And it's like a
I don't get it.
cop out excuse to make a take and say, where at the same time you take the
Oh,
opposite and then
oh, okay.
you leave a take that you're smoky in the middle. And it's just like, fuck off. And now maybe I've said on these
Oh, I get what you're
podcasts at
saying.
the same time,
It's like covering your
everybody's
ass when you
covering
say
their
something that's
ass with
hot.
takes these days. This
Yeah,
is
yeah,
actually
yeah.
why I
We don't do
wanted,
that.
like, we'll get there, but like why this year I'm like, I want to put my grades on paper and I want to put a little bit of what I thought about the auction,
Well, I think
to
that's
accountability
what's really
because,
great about
well,
what we're doing is like
we
we're
don't,
actually doing it.
yeah, but we
We're
don't
actually
get good
saying it.
content
Yeah.
in post if we don't have it. There's nothing going to
But
be,
it's not the same culture of the hot take culture. Like I listen to some of the podcasts and I don't want to compete with them. I really don't because
well,
I
no, no,
listen
no,
to
no.
like
I
some of these
agree with
guys
that.
that are just hold on just a second. that are extremely analytical and they dig into the stats and all these different things that I honestly I just don't have time for it. Like I feel like I'm a decent evaluator from what my eyes see on the football field and that my brain collects in information. But I don't have time to go look at to prove my opinions based off of stats. I just fire off the cuss based off of what I see and watching a ton of football. But like I don't want so I like our top 15 dynasty rankings.
Did you
The
hate
notes
the
are
movie
very simple.
Moneyball?
I thought it was a Academy Award winning performance by Brad Pitt. Like I
Man,
thought it was a great movie.
I think
Yeah.
it's
I mean,
I
the
think it's
only problem is
incredible. You
that
sound like one of the scouts combating Jonah Hill right now.
but he but Brad Pitt
My
was competing
eyes. My
Brad Pitt was
eyes.
competing
Screw the
against
analytics. My eyes.
my guy
I know
my guy
evaluation. Go ahead. Sorry,
Daniel
I'm being a dick.
Day-Lewis. No, I get it that it's a huge part of fantasy football. But when I watch that movie and I see him versus Daniel Day-Lewis as Lincoln, who are you going to give the Academy Award to?
I
You
never
know, it's
saw that
just like
movie, but I did see the
it
one
was not
where
his best.
I saw the one where he got stabbed in the stomach by Leonardo DiCaprio at the end. What was that?
The Gangs of New York.
I'm totally kidding. Of course, I know that. The Butcher was the greatest fucking role of my lifetime. One of them.
Well, I feel like that
It's
was
the
one of my great
dude.
failures.
It's the dude. It's the Butcher. It is.
It's one of my great failures in life, Ben. I
We're
should have
way
done
off
a night
track.
with
We
Daniel.
should do this at some point, though.
Hold on, let me finish my thoughts here. I wanted to do a night with Daniel Day-Lewis in your bar in Sharky's. That's one of my greatest failures. I should have played Daniel Day-Lewis in 30-minute segments for whatever. But if I could go back in time, I'd do that. Maybe I
Yeah,
can
but
do it
you
in
used to
my
do
small.
it after fucking 14 rum and cokes, so we kind of already saw it.
Yeah, but I wasn't paid for it. I think I
No, fair.
probably could have.
Fair. You were giving great entertainment for free.
I might have got a lot of comp drinks.
Mostly
You
Daniel
copied my
Day-Lewis
drinks.
impressions.
Yes. We're just a reincarnation. Okay. Anywho, I think that's enough of our banter for now. Um, do you want me to go
That was a
first?
great
Because you
intro, by the
always,
way. Outside of you
yeah,
saying the F word, I think in 29 seconds, man, we were so close. So close, Corey. You were so close to not cursing our intro.
yeah. I don't know.
I'm not trying to bring up old shit, but I'm just saying the segment we just did, I thought that was pretty
Okay,
damn
so
good.
I thought a lot
I'm giving
about
you a
that.
compliment. I'm giving me a compliment. I'm giving this podcast a compliment. I thought we did a great intro.
The reason why I feel like I cuss in this podcast is because
You see
to
my
me
face?
this is well, no, I love your face, but I have a life where 92% of the time I have to be pretty well put together, if that makes any sense. Unless I'm around friends or in my locker room, which is our podcast, my
That's
life
fair.
doesn't allow me to just loosen up and just be free. And I think that's, when I start to just kind of be a dude in a locker room and I probably drop more F-bombs than I normally do. But I feel like that's also kind of why this is important to me is because I feel like those are healthy spaces to be in, like I feel like you with one of your best friends in the whole entire world, if not your best friend, like you should be able to like drop a couple F-bombs here and there when guys are talking
Well,
about
that's for
fantasy
sure.
football and not be criticized over it. But I can assure you, and I just said that it's not the normal Corey that you get to see here on the podcast.
Corey,
This is the Corey I like the most.
let's make a deal. When we have 1
Let's
million,
make a deal.
when we have 1 million subscribers, we can talk about cursing content.
Probably a little before that, but if we got to 500, I'd probably tighten
500.
up even more.
You want to get corporate after 500? All right. I mean, if we get
The last
if we
thing
can
I
get
want
$70 a month for our content, I actually have to agree. We might have to clean it up.
I just think that okay, couple more points about the podcast. A, I'm going to do it with you because I love to do it. B, I don't care about the money that much. C, I have
Are you getting paid and I'm not?
no. Well, no. Here's the
Jesus,
reality
you have
of
the
it.
rights to this?
You can do whatever the fuck you want to do online. I cannot, and so that's the rub. Like
you showed
if I
your
wanted
butthole,
to,
though.
and I deleted that episode. It's no
Really?
longer in existence.
Man, I gotta look
Yes,
at the
yeah,
archives. I might have to make a meme
yeah.
of it.
Well, I ran for public office, and people started finding all sorts of weird stuff, and it started getting a little weird. So, anyway, okay,
Was that president of
I'm
the
going to kick
United
this off.
States?
No, no, Parks and Recs board member, uh, right next to City Council. I may be mayor someday, though. I will throw
They
that
try
out
to
there.
make me mayor here. I told them to fuck off every time.
Well,
What a terrible job.
you can't run
I
for
want none
something
of
that
that.
you can't run for something you already are, Ben. Um,
I mean, some fucking reason. It's like funny, but like not funny that you're kind of right. But yes, I'm not
yeah,
here to
I am
brag.
right.
Like I just
All right, so my number one ranked running back is, of course,
top 15 dynasty running backs, right?
correct, and my evaluation is based off of my perceived projections over the next 3 years.
3 years.
Age, yes,
That's fine.
okay.
That's fair.
I think that's a fair
We're in a
assessment.
contract league. Like I didn't clarify this earlier. I looked at a couple. I got a couple on the cusp. So, but like, okay, 3 years. We're in a contract league. We're not. And running backs is fair, but I think this is
Yeah,
good if we
you're
do
not
it in other
drafting
positions.
Derrick Henry this year to be consider him a dynasty value. Like I just don't. He's not in my top 15.
Well, yes, and also R.J. Harvey, who has done nothing over the next 3 years.
Also not in my top 15. Although listening to those analytical guys on CBS, boy, do they love their RJ Harvey, because they don't play in these big ass leagues like we do, and they don't
I
understand
think
contracts.
everyone likes
and all
R.J.
this.
Harvey except me. Do you not like R.J. Harvey too?
I dislike him less than you do, but
Thank God.
yeah,
See, this is why we're
yeah.
friends. Because when everyone in the world says somebody's good and we're like, that guy actually doesn't look talented, we will stand and say, fuck RJ Harvey.
And we could be very wrong, but
I'm
we
okay
will
with
stand
being
together.
wrong. I
I'm
told
okay,
everyone Jamin Davis was going to face fuck the league, dude. That was
I
a
do remember
bad
that.
take.
Yep, it was, but it happens. All
I
right,
think
here
I
we
had
go.
him on par with Micah Parsons. See, this is why
We're
we should
excited.
record this. I'm totally okay with being wrong.
We are recording it.
No, I mean
It's
like
just a matter
like recording
if
our
people
history.
want to go back and if people actually want to go back and check the tapes, that's it,
Exactly.
And we're putting it out there for people to do, and then they can call us idiots. All right, so number one, I'm going to do this pretty quickly because I can already feel this is going to be a 4-hour
But just
banger.
do your
and I have
15 and then I'll tell you where I disagree. That's easier.
Okay, so I have Jahmyr Gibbs. I know that might be a little bit biased to some people as my number one. Reason why: age. He to me is the definition of what you want for long term in Dynasty. I will have him on my team for as long as possible. I will go through one franchise tag, another franchise tag, and probably a transition tag. I think the fact that he's uber efficient, still young, gets explosive plays, has 26 career touchdowns over the last 2 years. His pass catching ability, not a lot of tread on the tires, averaging over 7 yards a touch. He to me is the definition of what you want as far as a running back. He is Alvin Kamara reincarnated, and I think his role will only increase if David Montgomery gets hurt, or if like they need to be down in games, if their defense. I just love everything about Jahmyr Gibbs. So I see a lot of rankings where he's like 3 or 4. To me, that's the type of running back I want to target. When I watched him, like I loved everything about the way he moved, his contact balance. I mean, it's just, to me, he's an amazing football player, and I think he still has a ceiling that he has not reached, depending on how much workload he gets on in early downs. But I like the fact that he doesn't get that many touches in a game, and he's super explosive when he gets them. So he's my number one.
Okay, so I'll just counter and say he's not my number one, but he's in my top 3, and I actually do resonate with a lot of what you say on what matters than I think most people will give credit for. But he's not my number one. Go ahead.
My number 2 is Ashton Genty. super young. I think he has a 3 down workload. His upside is incredible. The talent that was there, and obviously visible. I just think he's an absolute dog. I don't know if you'll actually see that this year, but he's definitely going to have a long career in the NFL. I just think he's a beautiful running back, and he's one of those guys that I think how do you take him off the field? Like when? Uh, to me, he's just the prototypical running back that can change an offense, and I think they're gonna utilize him. No, he's also with Pete Carroll, who loves to run the football. I just feel like in the next couple of years that he might be one of the most important dynasty players in all of football.
I think it's a fair take. I think by rule, I would never put anyone in the top five that hasn't run it down in the NFL.
That's completely fair.
And I think most
Completely
people
fair.
have Genty too, but he's definitely not my one or two, spoiler alert. But like my viewpoint is I've seen this, like we've been in Dynasty a long time, man. I remember Najee Harris was the surest fucking thing.
Mm,
So was James Conner. So it's like these
yeah,
guys did good, but it's like they
I don't
got the
remember James
workload.
Conner being
They got
in
Yeah,
that
man.
arena.
James Conner was going in with no one else. Like James Conner replaced Le'Veon Bell. Le'Veon Bell's
The,
workload was absurd.
well, yeah, but the talent wasn't comparable to the next three
He
on the
was
list. I
101,
think
and it was like not even close who was 102 in these
hmm.
leagues.
Based off of where he was drafted and situation.
In dynasty leagues, he was 101. Nobody was a close 102.
I think I joined these after he
You
was
did.
drafted, so
But
that
what I am
yeah,
saying is he came to a spot with perceived full volume, excuse me. So it's like Le'Veon Bell just put up a career fantasy year.
yeah,
He held out, fucked off, whatever. And then James Conner was the first running back taken in the draft, replacing Le'Veon Bell. 1 plus 1 equals this guy is the surest thing in the
right,
next
right,
10
right.
years.
Yeah, I don't know if I would ever evaluate that based off of
You just did with
like
Ashton Genty, though.
no, no, no. Gianti's talent level is completely different than James Conner. You'll never convince me of that otherwise.
Okay. Well, I didn't talk
Le'Veon
to you about
Bell,
James Conner then. I believe Genty is Saquon Barkley
correct. I would say the next
talented,
four guy,
and
the
I
first
think
four guys,
putting him
yeah.
above Saquon Barkley after the year
Well,
he
okay,
had.
so that's fair. The
Three
next two
years,
are
you said.
Bijan.
You didn't say 10. You said 3 years. And we have Jainty above Saquon, and that's
Barkley's
fine.
29.
It's okay,
Barkley's
man. Like
29. So
I think it's great. I thought we were gonna vary much less, but like it's nice that we've vary a lot. So I
yeah, well,
I don't have
hold on just a
Genty
sec.
up there.
Hold on. We're never going to get through this if I don't continue on a few points here. So I think the next two are kind of what you're talking about. I don't think I remember anybody coming into the league with more excitement than Barkley, other than Bijan, who I have at 3, and Barkley I have at 4. So Bijan, younger,
Bijan
I think
wasn't
his
Barkley,
ceiling
but you're right.
as close to as Barkley. And Barkley, I mean, as good as he was, I don't think that his production was as amazing as it could have been. And it kind of reminds me a
In
lot of
Penn
Bijan. I think
State or in the NFL.
no, no, no. In the NFL.
Okay,
So
well,
the first few
like,
years, it's
but
just
all
like
these
okay,
conversations should be what they did in college. Saquon Barkley is better than anyone we're talking about right now in college.
I would agree. I don't think there's any running back in the last 15 years, 20 years that I remember
I
being
got to
as
think
excited
about it,
about.
but that's more of a fair assessment than if I came up
Yeah,
with
but we're
somebody in
talking
eight.
about how I perceive him over the next 3 years, and I'd rather have Bijan
3.
over Barkley the
That's
next
fine.
years.
That's fine.
Okay.
That's fine.
So for Bijan, his ceiling I think is still obtainable. I think the change in coaching staff. I think Atlanta is actually a better team than most people think. I think he's going to be utilized more. I think he's explosive. He can catch the ball. He can do everything. Like if utilized correctly, I think he has like a Barkley level ceiling. I just don't think we're there yet, but I'm betting on the age over the fact that Barkley is, I believe he's 20, not 28, but I have to double
28.
check that.
Confirmed.
Okay. Okay, thank you. So then Barkley, I obviously have as my number four. He's proven, he's explosive, he's with the Eagles. Like he's coming off of I think his career year. Like I don't think anybody will say that he's ever had a better year in fantasy football than he did last year. Is there regression? I mean, how do they try to repeat for a championship? Do they try to get other people involved in the game plan? Do they kind of save him for later on in the season? I don't know. And it's not that he's been injury prone. I would just think that, he has to stay on the field as he's getting older. And I still think that whatever his contract is, you're going to pay it. And he's in that tier with those other three running backs. And I think that's kind of where my tier separation is. That's tier one running backs that I would want a roster in every league that I'm playing in, even beyond the ones that we are in. So the next one I have on my list will probably be a little bit surprising, but I have Breece Hall as my number 5 running back. I think in the right situation, he can be a top running back in the league. I think he does all 3 downs. I think his workload is going to matter. I don't think he's been in a situation with the Jets over the last couple of years that really kind of caters to his talent and what he's capable of. An explosive offense, like I think I mentioned him. What if he was on the Kansas City Chiefs or the Detroit Lions? Like, what kind of running back would he be? Like, I think he's 25. If I'm not, 24. He's still only 24 years old. So, I mean, to me, I still like his upside. I did trade him away in a couple of leagues that we play in, but it was more contract related and trying to get, a younger running back in his stead and free up some cap. But to me, he's my number 5 overall.
Okay. So can I give my top 5? This is what we'll do. You can
go
your top 5 and then I'll just roll my top 5. So my number 1 is Bijan Robinson.
Okay. Yep.
So like this was like you were arguing with me a little bit, but it's like I was trying to say Saquon is. So we were kind of agreeing and disagreeing, but I didn't want to get into it too much. And I just think Bijan Robinson is the next 3 years probably the best bet. They have Algier, and they just know what he is. And he's just going to slow roll his way into the sunset. And he's got a really big load. And that team's getting competent, and it's getting better unless Penix fails. He should be way better than last year, and that seems unfathomable. Right? If they have a good passing attack, unless Penix runs a lot on the end zone and takes away a lot of touchdowns, I think Bijan Robinson's like the shoe-in.
Yeah, I mean, the only counter I would have to that is that kind of like Genty, he hasn't proven his ceiling yet, and I'm still waiting to see him.
I'll tell you where I have Genty soon.
Yeah, no, I'm just saying that until he proves it, I don't think he belongs as the number 1. He needs to be.
He doesn't, and he doesn't belong as the number 2. And I have Saquon Barkley at number 2.
Okay.
And here's where I'm going to say the reason I have number 2 is because I think the Eagles can grind him for 2 more seasons plus. So I think they can workhorse him for a volume that's not sustainable long term. Like he's probably going to be dead at 31. But if he has 2 MVP seasons in the next 2 years, and then even has an average season or a cut season, like as far as value, like I think that's what you want. Like it's just.
Well, I mean, it's hard to perceive value though, like too in our leagues because of the contracts that are associated with the people that we're talking about.
I agree, but like I just think if all contracts were equal, right? like after what Barkley did, until like Bijan and Barkley have the volume that no one else we're talking about has. And that
So
maybe
if all
Shenty will
contracts
have.
are equal, if all contracts are equal over the next 3 years, you perceive that Barkley is going to score the second most points out of those top five running backs, which is a fair assessment. Like it's a hard bet to counter, right? I guess I probably am a little biased based off of the fact that I know how much Barkley costs versus the other guys.
Yeah, but that's not the conversation. The conversation is
No, I know,
dynasty.
and that's why I'm saying like if you made me a bet that was plus 195 that Barkley was going to score more points than anybody in fantasy over the next 3 years at running back, it would be hard for me to take that bet.
Yeah, I think it's
Even
fair.
though I'm getting 200. You know what I mean? So I get it. I just, yeah, I mean,
So
go
my
ahead.
my
Continue
number
on.
three, my number three is going to be
Yep.
your boy Jahmyr Gibbs.
Yeah. Okay.
Jahmyr Gibbs is my
That's
number
fair.
three. I think the thing about Jahmyr Gibbs of why he's like in the conversation with these two, he's in the same tier, without a doubt for me, is because like if some point they give him more volume, wow, that could be a problem. Because we saw when Montgomery was out, he was like 45 points a game.
Yeah.
It's not real. And so the guys above, they just have the volume. They have the volume.
Well, I think another point too is like when we're playing in dynasty football, you have to think about the weeks that we're playing in the championship, right? So if a team is competing for a divisional title and they have 10 wins and they're going against the Chicago Bears to see who gets the bye in the first round, you know that they're going to play their best players at that time in order to to win those games. Like, so I have more confidence in a Gibbs over a Bijan and being in those situations. But I mean,
You mean
you
like
know,
where they're relevant games?
yeah, yeah. I mean, I think that has to be somewhat considered, right? Like if the Eagles dominate their division and they're resting players in the last 15 and, week 15 and
Well,
16, like
if a team is taking,
that's
they're gonna rest their players too and shut them down.
correct. Yeah. Yeah.
I think
I
it's
mean, I
equal
don't
to like, in my opinion, the odds that Jahmyr Gibbs has it locked up the last two games and doesn't play is equally relevant to like Bijan Robinson and his team being 3 wins and not playing the last two.
to need to get into to need to get into the
Yeah.
playoffs. Yeah.
So
That's probably
I
fair.
think
Yeah.
I think they both have risk in different ways. But that's mine.
Yeah.
And then so my number 4
4.
is Derrick Henry. Derrick
Wow.
Henry
Okay.
signed for 3 more years. His third
Okay.
year is $17 million, and there's no
Yeah.
cut out of it. So they're gonna
Well,
have.
he is he's a physical specimen. I mean, at
That's
31 years
that's
old.
fine, but we want to go back to volume, and that's just like, if you would have said 5
I
years,
just think
Corey,
that his volume has to. I think his
if you-
volume has to decrease
if you said
if
in
they want to
5
play in
years,
the playoff.
if you said in 5 years, I would have not put him there. But in 3, I just have to do it. Like same with Barkley.
Can Baltimore win games without Derrick Henry having 23 touches a game? I think they can. And so that's why I wouldn't even have him
I
in my
don't
top
think they're
15.
as
I
dangerous. I don't think they're as dangerous.
Yeah.
I think they learned that. I think they learned
Okay.
when they tried to spell Henry, he doesn't wear lines down. They learned that late, man. Like Derrick Henry wears the line down. And so it's not just because Derrick Henry runs for 6'2" in a second half versus like 4'1" or whatever in the first half. It's more about like that line's dead. So it's okay. Like I don't think any rankings back me on this. I think most rankings have
like Fantasy Pros has them at 17 overall, but I mean,
17.
what do we care?
Well, no, but Dynasty Forever. That's Dynasty Forever, no contract.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah.
Like,
Yeah,
it's
we're
really
talking
hard to
a
look at a
different
Dynasty ranking in our contract leagues, and you're like, oh, 3 years. Again, but we
Yeah.
set the precedent. You said 3 years. I would have put Henry top 10, if it was 5 years, like probably at 8, maybe 9.
Well, if Henry was in the auction this year after a transition tag, he would have gone for $600.
Man, I paid a first round pick to bump him up a little bit, and I got him, and I was like, okay.
One of the first ones to happen in a long time.
I guess I was like, I didn't expect that to happen, but I was like, yeah, I'll take Derek Henry. Now, granted, Mike Evans at $200. We'll go back to that. Hey, Corey, would you rather have Derek Henry at $264 or whatever it is, or would you rather have our born New England man? I can't want to keep it. Or let's pick the safety that went for 180. Well, or Warren Dobbs. That's a good one. But
I mean, come on, what we're talking about there. But yeah, I mean, we don't see it the same. I don't have it in my top 15, so I just
think something we should do in a future episode, which it's not time sensitive, but it would we could compare the auction or I don't know, trades or whatever, and just say, would you rather have, and go down the entire franchise tag list? Would you rather have this guy in a first round pick or what you paid for that guy?
Well, if Jack Gibbons is going for $200 in an auction and nobody's using a first to pay for Fred Warner, there's something wrong.
I don't know this for sure, but was it Roquan? There was a linebacker that was franchise tagged that was really good. It's not Roquan. Maybe I'm wrong. Yeah. But I'm just saying, let's say for example, if Roquan Smith was franchise tagged, no one would have bid on him. And let's say he was $160.
If Roquan Smith changed his position to a running back, I would bid $50 on him. Let's just put it that way.
Let's say he's $160. Do you think at the price of $160, based off of what we just saw for linebackers, Roquan Smith is worth the first round pick? I mean, it's not crazy.
I have to look at his age, but
it's not crazy.
I mean, if I would, we're digressing into the auction and other topics. We need to get through 10 more players, but yes, I'm baffled by the fact that Fred Warner did not go for a first round pick. If I would have had a first round pick in BC, I would have.
Fred Warner. That's who it was. Thank you. It was Fred Warner.
Yes. Yeah, I said that like 12 minutes ago, but it's fine. I love you. So my number 6 is Jonathan Taylor. Okay. Whatever. I've traded him away in a couple of leagues. Again, it has something more to do with contract value than where I think he's actually at. He's still only 26. He still has a 3-down workload with very limited competition behind him. I would obviously prefer him in a different offense, and I think we might be able to see that happen. Okay, so I'm making a gamble somewhat on JT moving somewhere else and getting traded because the Indianapolis Colts are not going to be very good this year. But man, I tell you what, that dude is so underestimated and what he can do if he's healthy. And I think in an explosive offense, I mean, he would be up there, right there with Barkley. I think if you put him on a team that was a contender.
Volume.
So. Volume guy, 3 downs, he can do everything. I love him as a player still. Would love to have him in BC. All right.
Hold on real quick for the record. 7. For the record, I didn't say it, but Ashton Jeanty was my 5. I just realized I didn't say what my 5th was. No, but he's my 5th. Okay. And my 6 is Jonathan Taylor too. So we're JT buddies.
That's nice 6. To agree.
Keep going.
All right. And that's definitely not the consensus as far as fantasy pros is considered.
I don't think a lot of people like him. I like him a lot.
All right. So number 7, I have Josh Jacobs. I know that's another surprising one. Okay. Nice. But I think he's a great offense. He's still only 27. He's a proven back, even though his age creeping up. Yeah, I think
I didn't have a sack to put him that high, and you are a legend for putting him that high. He deserves it.
I mean, I think their offense is going to be even better. I think a healthy quarterback all year round. They have some more talent on the offensive side of the ball. I just feel like, man, they found how to utilize them correctly last year. Like, I think they have a decent
He's
backup so they can
valued with
kind of
like
keep it
Kenneth
fresh.
Walker right now. I couldn't even
It's
believe it.
disgusting.
I was just
It's
like, what are we
disgusting.
talking about? Thank you, Corey. Corey, that I'm going to give you a big compliment right now. It's like one of my
Thanks, bud.
favorite things that I didn't have the balls to do that you did in our rankings I've ever
Yeah.
seen. Because I
Well, I
really,
appreciate it.
really wanted to put him exactly where you were at. And I like, spoiler alert, I'm disrespecting him less than everyone else. But thank you for putting some respect on Josh Jacobs' name.
Yeah, it's amazing what happens when you get out of Las Vegas. Good luck to Genty surviving that. But I think with Carroll, being the coach, it'll change the culture a little bit. But okay, so number 8, or I'm sorry, number 7. Are we on 7 or 8?
No, we're on 8. 6,
All right.
Jonathan
So
Taylor. 7, Josh Jacobs. I love that pick. Who's your number 8?
8, I have number 8. I have, even though I was down on him in the draft a little bit about, maybe there's some other guys. I've come around a little bit on Mario Hampton. I think his upside is there in a Jim Harbaugh offense. I think he's a extremely physical, potential 3-down back. I think the Najee, story is kind of over, and I think by next year he's going to be one of the top 3 or 4 backs in the league. And I think they have a good offense, man. Like I think if they can find a way to utilize him and keep him healthy, that dude is a physical beast. And I think that the evaluation over the next 3 years is probably accurate with him. I don't know how I wouldn't compare him to like a Jamar Gibbs because like they're gonna pound that motherfucker. Like they're gonna pound him and they're gonna utilize him and then they're gonna wear him out just like they did Najee and just like they've done other guys that are of his stature. And his biggest, I thought he ran a little straight up and down, and I just, proven against like competition the whole time. I'm just not 100% sure that he's legit. But I think he will get the workload, and I think that I would bet on him over the next 3 years. So he's my number 8.
That's
Any thoughts?
super high for me, but
Yeah.
I'm okay with it.
All right. I'm gonna keep going because I'm firing now.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go with number 9.
I'll try and go quick with my 5 through. I guess it'd be 10. No, 5 through 9.
Yeah.
6 through 9.
So 9,
Yeah.
I'm going. 9, I'm going, and I tried to push him down further, but I probably I just can't. Devon A-Chain. I know he's everybody's darling. He's super explosive. His age, he's how old is he? He's 23 years old. I'm still worried about slender backs of his nature and the offense in general. I just, I don't see the direction that Miami's going to be a competitive team. What happens if he moves to a different role in a different offense or their shit offense? I don't see him being as valued as much as the other 8 guys on the list. But you do have to respect his explosive nature, and when he touches the ball, he's pretty electric. So I do have him at number 9.
Corey.
And then I'll just finish my 10, and then
Okay,
you can
ahead.
go. And then my last one on the list, and this is kind of where both of these guys, A-Chain and Bucky Irving, were kind of the same mold. I'm worried about his workload. I actually believe that they might start incorporating Sean Tucker a little bit earlier on early down workload. Not the other guy. Sorry, Penn. I think he's pretty much done. And he hasn't proven it enough for me. He was very good in pass catching, but again, another slight running back that I don't think has necessarily the build to be a full workhorse type back. So I've dropped him down to 10, even though people are super high on him, and I can understand why based off his performance last year.
Okay. So just fire off real quick. Your 6 was Jonathan Taylor. Your 7 was Josh Jacobs. Awesome.
Yeah. 8
So
Hampton, 9 A Chain, and 10 Bucky Irving.
okay, so I'll get to HN because I'm with you and I'm lower than you.
Okay. Yeah.
But I'm also lower on Hampton too. So my 6 is Jonathan Taylor. My 7 is Brees Hall. And I don't love it, but Brees Hall, when he had volume and he was healthy, was gross and good. And we keep putting these guys out when they're like on injury notice, when you know they can do all 3 phases of the game perfectly. And I think that's a mistake with Brees Hall. Like, it's weird to me to have him at 7. Like, that's...
Yeah, but like with Fields as the running back or the
No,
quarterback, you have to take it.
hey,
I
man,
mean, it's crazy how much a running quarterback impacts, the RB position. Like
you're
they
not
have to
wrong.
respect
You're not wrong.
Fields.
I have
They have to.
I have gone to Brees Hall therapy for like an entire off season because it's just like
Yeah.
everyone hates him, and I'm like, fuck, is this guy need to get on now? But I don't know. You're right. There's smoke. That's why he's not top 3.
Yeah.
He's like
Yeah.
kind of like last year. We'd laugh at us this year, right? Like Brees Hall's
The
not
fact
in your
he's only
top 3.
24.
Yeah, he's
The
young.
fact he's only
He's young,
24.
very young
I mean,
for 3 years. So I put Brees at 7, and then Jacobs at 8. You fucking beat me, man. I was like, I thought that was my hottest smoking take of all time. So
it could be a 3rd-year bad contract, honestly. Like I think the next 2 years for him are
He's older,
probably
but, like,
legit, but
dude,
3 years is probably getting a little dicey.
man, unless Lloyd's the next coming of Christ, he's got another year of volume, guaranteed.
Yeah.
Probably another year, if worse, in a timeshare. Unless they blow it up, and then it'll be like, oh, Philadelphia cuts Barkley and signs him. You know, I don't know. He's 20.
Yeah, I mean, I can see him getting.
He's 27 still.
I don't know what his contract is with the Packers, but they're a competing team, and they're not going to blow it up. Like, I feel like as long as he's healthy, like he's going to be a running back that's still valuable at 30 years old, but it's going to be getting dicey at that point.
So, like, this next one's super hard, and, like, you blew through it, so I'm not going to make excuses and talk shit, right? So I already have Derrick Henry way up. Because, like, I'm just leaning for next 3 years. Like, I'm just leaning on guaranteed shit. So, like, outside of Genty, I'm not going to get a lot of rookies up here. And I really like Bucky Irvin. I just think they're not blowing up Tampa anytime soon. Tampa's going to be a 3. I mean, unless they don't keep Baker. But if they keep Baker, they're going to be like 4-year competitors, right? Their wide receivers are great. Their offensive line is like, I just think they're going to be good for a long time. And I think that matters. And the Sean Tucker thing, I almost don't want to address because he's just a fucking jag. I think White could dent if he's healthy and has a good training camp. But like, I just think Bucky Irvin did, albeit like, is he going to get Brees Hall volume? Maybe not, but like he can block, he can receive, he can do it all.
Irving's a blend back, right? So he can play on early downs and he can catch the ball. So I feel like Tucker, like when they need to pound the ball, like or whatever they're doing late in games, like it's going to be Tucker. And I think the interesting thing about blend backs, and I think I just came up with that new terminology, is he's still going to get 18 to 20 touches a game. Like, but I think that's where you kind of want him. He needs to operate in that Gibbs role, and they're going to utilize him in downs and distances where they don't know if they're going to run the ball or they're going to pass the ball. And like, that's kind of where I want my running backs to live.
Yeah, but if I don't want my
guys getting 2 yards and getting pounded.
Top 5 to 8 numbers, man.
Yeah,
like he's just going to do it.
I don't disagree. I mean, he was super productive when he had a huge workload, but he's not a big back. I don't know his size, but like I just when I watch him on the field, he just doesn't strike me as a workload kind of running back.
He
I'd
does
have to check
everything
into that.
better
He's
of
only
every running back they have on.
I don't know. I mean, I
He could
think
get hurt and
yeah,
like it could change, but like I'm just saying they don't have guys in the wings.
Rashad White's a great cat. Like he's like a Jerick McKinnon type. I mean, he's a
It's
good
fine.
pass catcher. Yeah.
I just think Bucky's going to be great. And here's so the Devon A. Chan.
Mm.
Wait, I don't have him yet. I have Kyron Williams over him.
Yeah, Bucky Irving's 5'10", 195 pounds.
No, but I have Bucky
you know?
Williams, and then I have Kyron Williams.
Oh,
And
gosh.
here's the thing about Kyron Williams. Kyron Williams is going to get, this year, all the workload. And next year...
No, they're going to run him into the ground.
Exactly. But if they sign him to the Todd Gurley contract, he will get 2 more years of getting run into the ground. So there's the risk reward. Okay? Why have him over Achan? I believe the entire staff on the Miami Dolphins will be fired this year.
I agree.
So if you have Achan and Wright, like they signed Alexander Madison,
Ollie Gordon that they drafted.
Oh yeah. Somebody said that he was relevant. Who drafted him? Was that Penn?
Yeah, of course.
Yeah. Okay. Ollie Gordon is a practice squad player at best. You don't pay Alexander Madison the money you just paid him and cut him. You don't cut Jalen Wright for Ollie Gordon.
No,
so who are you cutting?
Jalen Wright.
Who are you cutting? It's a crazy thing. The Ollie Gordon pick, we'll get to great. Like, Ollie Gordon is trash. Fuck Ollie Gordon. If Ollie Gordon gets cut,
Miami
and goes
Dolphins
to
have
team,
they built their entire offense. To your point, the Miami Dolphins have
off
built
a
their entire
prototype
offense
that might
much
not
like the
matter
NFL.
next year.
Office speed, Raheem Mostert, Waddle, Tyreek Hill. Okay, so what happens when a coaching change comes and none of that speed exists anymore?
If they don't make the
so what is
playoffs,
Devon
he's
Achane
getting
gonna
fired.
do between the tackles?
The general manager's getting
I would
fired.
be trying to
He's
sell
getting
high
fired.
on Devon Achane
The
all day
defensive
long.
coordinator's getting fired. Everyone's getting fired. Everyone's getting fired if they do not make the playoffs.
But it's the Miami Dolphins. It's hot. It's what is Devon Achane going to do in cold weather when games matter? Like
what are 1-cut 4-2 running backs doing on other teams? Lower. What are 4-2 1-cut running backs doing otherwise? They suck.
I didn't have the balls to drop Devon Achane down further on my list because
I didn't either. I think he should be fucking 15th.
Yeah.
I think he should be so far down because I really think there's no chance he produces past this year, unless he has.
What's the difference between Devon Achane and James Cook?
James Cook is tough and thick.
Yeah. He plays in cold weather. He plays for a winning football team.
There's actually a
probably
lot
get a
of things
second
different.
contract.
Like he's not a fucking
no. That's
fragile
what I'm saying,
little
is
sissy.
like how can you have Devon Achane ranked over fucking James Cook?
I didn't want to. I didn't want to, but I'm like already sacrilegious. I'm already sacrilegious where I put
we
him.
need to grow some balls. We need to grow some balls.
But you already
actually
did. You already did.
Money where am I?
Man, I would already wanted to change my shit after your Jacobs pick because like that's where I wanted to put him. And now, it pissed me off that I didn't, because I wanted to hear some yapping about Achan. Fuck Achan, fuck Wright, fuck whoever the hell.
Yeah, I would be selling high on Achan.
Fuck Tyreek Hill, fuck Waddle, fuck Tua, because guess what? Unless you can bet with all confidence they are making the playoffs, their entire coaching staff is probably fired mid-season. So now what do you have?
Yeah, but if Devon Achane signs with the Kansas City Chiefs after his contract, then we have a whole
If he signs with the Chiefs, he can be your boy Pacheco 2.0.
Top 5.
If he signs...
Pacheco.
Well, I don't know. You say Pacheco sucks, so maybe he's just another shitty Pacheco. If he signs with...
they're just not comparable.
No, the 49ers. 1-cut system. He could be ridiculous.
Yeah.
So if first of all, if Wright somehow makes it on the 49ers, he's probably the most valuable go-get there is. because Wright and
He's
Achan are
Elijah
both
Mitchell.
one-cut guys. They're Shanahan guys because McDonald's a Shanahan guy. Like, it's all
Yeah.
Shanahan shit. So if they
Yeah, the
suck
problem
and
is
nothing works, just follow.
Shanahan's gonna be there, and McDonald's not gonna be.
Well, what
So I
happens
mean,
if
it's just
Shanahan doesn't make the playoffs after they gave Purdy all them? I mean, they'll still keep him, but like, it's gonna get dicey.
well, he's tied to that contract over the next 3 years or 4 years, whatever it is.
So is so is Lynch, but it's gonna get dicey if they miss the playoffs this year.
All right, we're gonna move on because we are into an hour
I
already.
told
And
you we had
haven't
too
even
much to
gotten
talk about.
This was supposed to be a 15-minute segment. All right, my 11.
Just go 11 through 15. Fire off. No explanation. We don't have to.
I'm gonna do it. 11 is Henderson for the Patriots. 12 is James Cook. 13 is Chase Brown. 14 is Christian McCaffrey, and 15 is Caleb Johnson. Quick hitters here. Henderson, I think, can be everything you want him to be, just like a Jahmyr Gibbs light. I think their offense is ascending. Pass catching abilities, explosiveness, everything that I want in a running back. James Cook, I'm worried about his contract. I don't know what he would look like in a different offense, much like A-Chain, and I think he's going to have TD regression. Chase Brown, I'm very worried about his draft capital. The Bengals seem to always churn through running backs, and I don't think they really care that much who's in that spot. They also brought in competition. McCaffrey, I don't care. He's like Kelsey. Until he retires, that motherfucker belongs on the list. I'm worried about his overall health in the San Francisco offense, but as long as he plays 12 to 15 games over the next 3 years, I don't care what offense he is in, he's a weapon and needs to be valued. And then Caleb Johnson, I think he has a huge opportunity on offense, on early downs. He's super explosive. Everybody like dogged on him for his 40 speed. Don't care. That mother effer runs away from people when he's in the open field. I'm a little bit worried about his QB play in the future. But I think this year, and then if they win, maybe Rodgers extends one more year. If not, then they probably are in the bottom half of the league and get their quarterback of the future. So those are my top 15.
Okay, perfect. That was great. So, my last, man. So, I think the hardest here I was looking at was between McCaffrey and Cook. Because, like, McCaffrey's just old, but what if he's still the guy? Like, if he's healthy,
Correct.
McCaffrey, like, this isn't like a Cooper Cup situation where you're begging for him. It's more like, I don't know, Devontae Adams in a new system. I don't know. Like, it's like, he still can be top 3 next 2 years. And we would be like, yeah. You know what I mean? And James Cook, I think should just be like top 10 next 2 years. I worry about how he like flips around. He's got like a little bit of family ego, you know. A little pay me this, pay me that. He gets in a good system next year, like in a dome, like give him to McVay. Then maybe he's shooting up to 5. You know what I mean? So I think like Cook's a guy who I worry about short term with Buffalo, but I feel like he's talented enough that his next show could be good, right? And everyone after that, I don't think that, you know, as far as vets are concerned. And she's like, what is Kenneth Walker doing after Seattle? Bagging groceries? Like, what if it doesn't work? You know what I mean? Like, I don't look at him as like this guy in the next system that could work. So, I don't know. I have begrudgingly a run of like guys that I don't love, which is Kenneth Walker, Chase Brown, and Kenneth Walker, Chase Brown, and then your boy, Amari Hampton. 15.
Well, yeah. I mean, so the only person
But I almost put Caleb Johnson over him.
Yeah, so the only person that we didn't agree on was you have Derrick Henry in your top 15. I have Caleb Johnson. Everybody else was in our top 15.
Yeah.
So, I mean,
oh, okay.
That's pretty interesting.
So we were pretty close-ish.
Yeah.
I get the
Yeah, I
Derrick
mean,
Henry hate, but like, dude, like, just until he's dead, just like, don't write him off.
I agree. I mean, I just, yeah, probably again influenced a little bit by contracts and age and, but
Getting
I,
17
I
million
would
three
love to
years
have
from
Derrick
now.
Henry on my team.
17.
And I
He's
think
got
you were super
15
smart.
million guaranteed 3 years from now. So he's either dead
I would,
or they're running him into the ground in 3 years. That's
or
it.
he's retired and you get the
That's
money
what I
back.
mean.
Yeah.
That's what I
Yeah.
mean. Like
Yeah.
he's not a thing or he's a thing in Baltimore. There will be no in between.
All right. I promise that when we do the wide receivers next week, that will be even longer than what we just
It
did.
has to be.
So now that
That was
you're an
not
hour and
enough
7 minutes
analysis.
in, yeah, um, without the analytics. But hey, we're firing off the cuff here. All right, so we're gonna move on. The second segment, which I do hope we can keep under 10 minutes, is not because it's not important, but because we've already talked a lot about the draft. Is I want you to give a summary of kind of what you did and kind of some key points on some of the teams that, as far as their draft and how you thought it went. I am not going to interject too much in this segment.
Oh, you want me to go by team?
However you think would be best for the audience.
Yeah, so I didn't overanalyze team by team. Like I have it set that I can look at teams. We're talking about the draft, right? Like I mean, I made the
Yeah.
draft grades without looking at teams. So I think it's just fair.
Well, I think everybody's probably looked at the spreadsheet. So, do you have maybe top five people that have A's or low half, like through, D's or C's, and kind of just want to explain what your thought process was into how you evaluated that? I know, like you and I disagreed a little bit because we were specifically talking about my draft and how I had kind of a shit draft, and I know your evaluation was based off
Man,
of,
nobody
well,
said
did
you had a
you?
shit draft. You
Well,
took
no, I
two
mean based off of your
grades
grades, like,
and you went and
yeah.
punished yourself in the corner over it. And I had given you A's
No, no,
over
no. I'm
multiple
not.
other
I
positions.
understand. I understand your thought process. What I'm saying is, you had a logic of why you gave people certain grades. It's like you can't
I
evaluate
gave
fifth round
myself like
picks.
I gave myself harsh grades at points.
So your grades were based off of value more so than the actual player. Like, so if you
I
drafted an
equally
undrafted
valued
free agent in the third round, you're going to get a D.
I equally valued consensus with my opinion. Okay, so like if I give you 2 points for what a consensus like draft I've seen and like where that is with my personal opinion, we're gonna be closer in the middle to like what most people think and then what I think. And then also the consensus is not if you go find some rankings. This is gonna take a lot of consideration of like the needs of this league. Like, are
And the
you?
needs of the individual team,
Well, man,
right?
go
So
look
they're
at a
trying to fill
dynasty
spots on
ranking
both.
on defense, and they're going to tell you to get all these defensive ends way ahead of these linebackers, and that's just like it's just bad advice
Yeah, yeah.
because it's a third. Like, it's just scarcity. We talk about this all the time, right? So it's like it's not really me saying all these rankings are right. It's more like like where this player according to our salary style and our point scoring and our scarcity should have gone. And then there's equally my opinion on whether or not I think they're a good player or not.
And I think
And
it's important to point out that we're going to discuss, like, or at least I did when we review each team, like how they drafted and how it fit into kind of their roster build. Because
so
if someone reached for a wide receiver early, it's probably because they were solidified somewhat at tight end or running back, and vice versa. So I think that has to be considered in BC because it's not an easy black or white situation. Like, and there may be some reaches that maybe, yeah, in a normal draft, like you're not taking that person because it's just impossible to fill those positions if you have a top 15 or even a 32 pick to get them later and fill a position of need depending on your salary cap and all that stuff. So it's very convoluted. So like in order for to do it correctly, we would
Very.
have to look at all 32 teams, what they're thinking about, when they're making their selection, how they're trying to fill their roster. And that's really difficult to do. It would take hours and hours of prep, but
Well,
you
thank
know,
God I did it, so nobody else had to. I
okay, well,
think
good.
I think for the most part, you have to treat this draft semi-independent of roster needs, especially because we have the auction after. So
Hmm.
it's just like a bonus if you do well. It's not a make or break. It's not like the NFL. They're like, man, this team sucks because it's a reverse. In the NFL, you do free agency, you get the bulk free agency, and then you do your draft. We do draft and then free agency. So I think you can say less about what a team's current status is based off these draft grades that I'm like creating or trying to have an opinion on, unless you're talking about like top three of each position, right? Which we're not doing. I'm just like, what's the value there? Is it good? Is that building future? That has nothing to do with whether or not your roster can compete today, right?
Right.
And so I think that's important in this exercise because I did try and look at rosters when we're going to grade them on their positional needs and what they are. It's not just about like where they are, but like how are they set up for the future and now. So when we go
Yeah,
through
no, that's really
divisions,
good.
when we go through divisions, I will have that opinion. But for here, just for the sake of the exercise, I just wanted to pragmatically look at like does this player belong to be taken here? And
Yeah.
one of the main rule sets I had, which was like really hard for me, was like no undrafted player can get an A unless they're in the fifth or sixth round.
Hmm.
Okay, so because why? Because like if they weren't drafted and you're taking them at this really high over, I don't know, a top three D end, a top five D end, and you're taking like if it's a wide receiver, it's a running back, whoever it is just your risk gamble over the reality of the odds of the NFL, right? And we do that all the
Hmm.
time. Like I gave myself a C grade on a player I took because I knew he wouldn't last later, and I think his upside's just frisky, and I think his probability 75% chance is he's a nobody. So like we take those risks. It's so these grades don't mean like what you did was wrong. It just means like, man, compared to the player pool you could have got at that point, maybe that wasn't the right move. Right. So to not make this much more long winded, I gave everyone who just took a good player in the range a B. Like if I would have taken three or four higher or three or four lower on like the general spectrum, like I got nothing to say about it. If I think you got a player a half a round high or like a massive point value higher. So like in
Hmm.
the first round, I have like a lot of A's because you should get A's. Those picks are so valuable on being right, right? Like we have seen like the top picks defined top ends of the roster, right? If you hit the Justin Jefferson or the Chase or the if you hit those guys or you hit the Roquan Smith or you hit the man, that is a long setup at a position, right?
Hmm.
Like in elite fashion. So in the first round, I'm like,
Well, let me ask you this question, Ben. Do you think that people that had multiple, let's say they had a 126, a 215, a 312, and maybe a 113. So they had two first round picks and a couple of valuable picks, as a rebuilding team. Do you think it's smarter for them to take the 115 or whatever I said and the 127 and go up and get a Jamar Gibbs or impact player as a rebuilding team, as the throwing darts and say maybe that Jaden Higgins linebacker role, or like what, like, because I think that if you get a Jahmyr Gibbs, he's worth 3 first rounders. Like, I mean, depending on where you
Yes.
think that those teams are going to finish in
No,
the future. So
that's
I would
correct.
rather take those. So I would take those first round picks that are maybe marginal first round picks, and I would try to allure someone that thinks that the draft is so fucking important that you're going to build a team off of it and let them build their depth. And I would take multiple first round picks by drafting someone like an Mario Hampton, like, let's just say someone that is somewhat not guaranteed, but somewhat safe to assume that's going to pave out over the next 3 years. And I think that's a mistake that a lot of new owners make. They fall in love with their draft picks, but they don't use all of their draft capital to get movable players that they can build off of their future and collect more draft capital off of. And I think that's commonly missed. And it's like, oh, great, I have 3 picks or 4 picks, and I'm going to throw a dart here. Well, those darts 50, 60, 70% of the time do not pay off. So take it, find a fool, package it with another a first round and a second round, and move way up to get a guy that's relatively safe. And I would say that to me is a strategy that people need to think about when they're rebuilding.
I think that's fair. I think I will, I don't know, put your process to work. Well, first of all, like, I mean, what Bad Boys did on like shoving up, shoving up, shoving up, and then having the option during draft day to like mess around. It's like one of the most master.
Amazing. Yeah.
It's one of the most masterful things because like it's like okay, there was luck in the lottery, but like he handled that so well. Took the right, like, I don't know. We'll see if they're the right guys, but he just like did well, got value, moved down. Like I just thought it was
They're
like
safe bets. He
he
got
moved
Genty,
down.
Hampton, and Ibuka.
Like so, where he moved down, for example, if he didn't have the first 2 picks, like why would he do? Like no, you need to take your shot. But he got two. He got Genty. Like he got 2 shots, so it's getting value.
He got 2 of the top 15, arguably. We'll say top 10
And
just
so, like
for
for me,
our
I'm
ranking running backs.
last year I was looking for this type of behavior, like somebody who kind of like got up good there, and can I get up to? I want to say it was like 10 or 11. I think it was at 17, 16 or 17. I'm just like firing everything I own. Can I get up to get Thomas? Can I get Brian Thomas
Yeah.
Jr.?
Would you get him at 7 overall?
He is my fucking guy, and I'm offering everything I can to get up to him, and everyone's just like, no, doesn't take him. Next guy, no, doesn't take. As soon as he goes, me personally, I looked and I'm like, nobody else is changing my life in this draft on my rankings. I got to trade down. And
Well,
so,
I mean, like I'll give you a perfect example. I think at the time Warren had pick 4, 9, and 12, and that's what I offered Genty or Gibbs for. I was like, he's like, you're crazy. I said, well, you better hope yours hit. Mine already hit twice. Like, and I, maybe I'm expecting a counter there. It's probably too rich,
he's
but
not
like
wrong.
again, to the point, people, he's very good at this. Like, no cap on fucking Warren. Like, he's good at being a GM, and he understands the game. Like, would I have done it for 2? Would I have done it for 4 and 9 and got Ibuka and Omario Hampton? Probably not, because I don't know if Ibuka is going to hit or not. I just don't. I don't know if Hampton's going to hit. I mean, it's a safe bet, but that's not enough for me. So, like, when new owners are asking me, what's the valuation of T. Higgins or blah, blah, blah. I'm like, he's a top 15, 20 dynasty wide receiver on a pretty cheap contract. He's worth 2 first
Do you think he's
minimal.
better than Trey
Minimal.
Harris? And
He
if you,
already is.
well, that's my point. Like, if you're going to talk yourself into Trey Harris over T. Higgins, like, we need
Is
to
he better
start.
than Pat Bryant?
We need to start talking about. Yeah, like that's my point. Like, we need to start talking to therapists.
Right.
Like,
So
if you
it's
think
like
Pat Bryant and what he could be, like he has to be a Hall of Famer, like Michael. He has to be Michael Thomas. He has to be a Hall of Famer.
he has to be a one
to even
he
come
has to be a number
close
one
to
top
T.
15 dynasty
Higgins'
run.
value.
Right. That's like, and someone's like, well,
That does get lost a lot.
I get it. Everybody falls in love with their draft picks. They think that they're we all do it. I do it. I think that when I, draft someone 321, I made the smartest selection,
We all do it.
out of anybody. Like,
I
we all
sold my
do it. But
soul
what I'm
to
saying is,
Satan this year for 16, 17 picks, and it could literally be the difference of me
the
not
same
competing.
concept. If you're a competing team, you're going to give up all your draft picks to get a sure starter that's already proven, and the draft picks don't matter.
Or if you
Like,
don't
but
feel
nobody does that.
comfortable, if you don't feel comfortable with the pick, then go volume. Trade down
Move it.
until you're like, this is value. That's what I do. Trade
Yeah.
down, not value. Trade down again, not value. Trade down again. Okay, I'm taking a D end.
Yeah.
Weird. But he's
Probably
value.
a starting DN though,
And
as
I just-
opposed to
Yeah, and when I took Latu, it was like, it was him and,
how's
Verse was
Jalen
like-
Polk doing this year?
Exactly.
Top 20 draft pick, top 21. Like, okay, gone.
So
burnt.
it depends on what your roster is like. It depends on how many picks you have. I converted, I think, 3 picks, and then I made another trade into 17. And it's like, well, what if I just took all those and took, I don't know. I couldn't have got high enough to get your boy Higgins. So what if I just got up enough to take your favorite pick of the draft, Bashul Tatum? I'm kidding. Let's say it's Scatabo. But let's say I traded my entire draft capital for next year and this year to move up and take one pick, and it was Scatabo. And then you could look at my entire draft after and be like, is it Scatabo or is this 17 picks?
Yeah, you would have to.
If you only need to fill 6 roster spots, you got to get high up. If you have no high end talent, you got to get high up. If you just need darts, just get darts.
I think and we'll prove this in the evaluation of the MAC. Like, there is a lack of studs and outside of a
Yes.
couple teams that are difference makers, that are long-term assets that you can trade at any point in time and get draft capital in return. And so building a team that has depth at every position but doesn't have any people on it that are going to score on average 15 points a game, you're never going to get ahead. You're never going to get ahead. And then, as you start to collect 2 or 3 of those guys, or 4 at 1 or 2 at each position, then you start being able to use those 5th, 4th, 3rd rounders, and you start moving back and collecting assets to fill holes. But I think that early you have to get studs on your team in order to dangle a carrot and be like, okay, this guy performed this year. He's worth more than he was worth in the draft. And if you don't have those names or people that are willing to invest, I went back and looked at, I gave it a bunch of shit for, Romeo Dobbs. I paid a 1st and 2nd for him, but I moved on from it very quickly. Okay, boom. Not what I expected. I'm gonna move on. I'm gonna get whatever I can. Maybe I get, and I think I traded him for the Kansas City receiver that was ugly as all fucking hell, and I can't even look at his face. And
Shemio? Was it
No, the
Justin
guy for the
Ross?
Giants that
Justin Ross that
no,
failed
no,
you
no,
once
no,
again.
no, 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 the guy for the Giants that's out of the league that moved to the Kansas City Chiefs and helped him win the Super Bowl, but like he can't catch on. I don't even know what he went for an auction. Like he might still be available. He looks like the
Tony?
Gremlin, like, but yes, yeah. I moved on it. I moved
Wow.
him for Tony, and then I moved Tony
Tony
for a
was like
linebacker. It's just like
top
people get
5 wide
attached to
receiver
their draft capital, and the draft
on
capital
draft day.
doesn't matter that much. it it just happened quick. Like to me, it's an evaluation of like the stock market. Like if it's tanking, man, I got to move on quick, and I gotta get off this player and get whatever I can, because I know if I get a second at least, I can go use that second to get someone else, and I'm that's a blue chip that's coming up. It's just like people fall in love with their draft picks too, and think, well, he's going to pan out. It could be you two or three, and it's just like, no, man, the
But
tea
the
leaves are
gambling of the
speaking to you,
roster is
dude.
like probably what I'm worse at than this. Like I traded Ernest Jones for peanuts because when I drafted him, I
Oh,
was like, I wanted like 2 other linebackers more than him. So I was like, if somebody wants to overpay, and then he's like in the mix to win a starting job, and I'm like, ooh, this is when I should sell him. I probably got good value.
I made horrible, horrible trades in my first 2 years off of trying to think that I could compete and that I was
That's
an
fair.
evaluator of talent. And I moved on from them very quickly and got what I could get when I knew I made a mistake. And I think people fall into that trap where they hold on too tightly to the mistakes they make and they don't let go of them and they don't move on. And I think that's a lesson in life
That's
too.
great.
Good little
Corey, I
knowledge
think
there.
that goes right into how I built my roster, which is like the complete understanding that I am a construct of my football team. So it's like, let's do a competitive rebuild. And he's like, no, just blow it the fuck up. Blow it
Blow
up,
it the fuck up and
asshole.
start
Blow
over.
it up.
Clean
Start
slate.
over.
Yeah.
No. Competitive rebuild. I'm in a competitive rebuild with like a team that looks
Yeah.
frisky, but like you're like, feels like a first round playoff exit. You know what I mean? It's like you're like, you feel like you just built the Tampa Bay
Hey,
Buccaneers.
I finished 12th this
Congratulations.
year.
Yeah,
Yay!
yeah, like, oh
Finished
hey, are
12th.
you
Yeah.
could be a very good Houston Texans team and like lose in the first round this year. I can't wait to watch you. I feel like the
Right.
Jesus continues to be that guy. And I'm okay. I like competing, but I
Well, I'm
cannot
going to give you
I
a little
can't blow it
props when
up.
we
I
when we
can't
review the
blow it
map.
up. I can't blow it
Yeah.
up.
Well,
Like physically
you
tried
have
to blow it
you have
up and
more
I couldn't do
collective
it.
banners. You have so many banners across the four leagues that I play in. You just don't have one in BC, and I maybe you'll have to blow it up someday
All
to get
leagues, you
back to
got to
your roots
pivot and
and
do
figure out
crazy
all the.
shit. Sometimes it
All
works,
right, so
sometimes it
that
doesn't.
was somehow a segment on Ben's draft grades. We're gonna move on. If
Yeah,
you
we
want to
didn't even
get
talk about a
deep
single
into it,
one.
ask Ben.
We're doing great.
No, I know, but I tried to keep us going.
There
I
were
think if you
A's,
want
there
to
were
ask Ben
B's,
specific
some
questions,
C's, no F's, a couple D's. Corey got one.
if
Now we're
we
ready.
we would like to be polite. We like to be polite. If you want to ask Ben specific questions about his draft grades, feel free to use the message board and respond to our podcast link to get more interaction, because we like it. Let's be honest. I check it 18 times a day to see if anybody's
Yeah, see
commented,
if you could trade
even if
rate
it's
me
about
if you got an
my
A. If you got an A, try
yeah.
and just absolutely offer me the worst shit ever. I can't believe I haven't gotten that yet. I'm disappointed in this league. I want to see an A I gave for Justin Jefferson because that's what I feel like the audacity of some of these players would do, and you've disappointed me. No bad
Well,
trades. After
as
giving all
long
my grades, no
as
bad
long as
trades.
as long as they're talking about us, whether it be bad or good, it's positive, you know. All right, we're gonna move on, and we're gonna dissect this very quickly, Ben. I'm challenging you to have another sip of whatever you're drinking.
No,
I'm
I'm gonna crack
personally
another beer, and we're gonna go fast.
all right. So I'm gonna give you guys a little bit of insight to what I've been doing lately as far as my drinking habits. So I have named a drink called the Equalizer.
This isn't even. You were trying to get us on topic,
No,
and
no,
we've
no.
gone
This will be
full
quick.
yard off.
This will be quick.
All right.
That's why I'm the host, because I can do this quick and then I can move us on to the next segment. So, what the Equalizer is, I'm holding up a typical 20-ounce drink canister. I fill it up with a quarter of it to ice. I go 3/4 to the top with water from a water machine from Costco. If you're not on that, you should definitely get on it. It's very, very good. Um, you get all the water machines, and you can have them all over your house, and you just get water delivered to your doorstep. It's amazing. Uh, Also, not using a lot of plastic, which is good. Um, then I fill it up about 1/4 or less, depending on the time of the day, with a little vodka. And then I finish it off with a electrolyte, a liquid IV. I'm telling you, it makes you feel social, it makes you hydrated, and it makes you feel like a champ. I would recommend starting at about 3 o'clock in the afternoon. If you've had a long day at work, you don't ever get a little twisted. You just enjoy a nice, subtle buzz, and you get hydrated at the same time. So that is my Equalizer. You guys should all enjoy one. It's also very tasty. If you get a little bit low in the cup and you don't want to put the vodka in, you can also add a seltzer drink right to it. And then you have a little bit of water, you have a little bit of the liquid IV still left, and you still get like that 5% alcohol inside your cup. And I'm telling you, it's been working. All right, so here's what we're going to do next. Ben and I, like I said, evaluated the entire auction. We are not going to go through it. We are only going to discuss three players, and we'll see where it goes. These are the three players in the entire auction that Ben or I completely disagreed on. Okay?
We made progress.
We'll see if this. Yes. So, the first player that we disagreed on and you thought was a positive auction value is DeMarcus Lawrence. You had him as a positive, I had him as a negative.
Okay.
His auction cost was $66, I believe.
Okay.
So why don't you go first as to why you think that's a good buy, and then I'll jump on it.
Penciled in starter, 3 years guaranteed money, and he went for the price of Eric Wilson, who's a fourth string linebacker. Like, what if he puts up 180?
Yeah. So
you know who's not putting up 180? Eric Wilson. I'm just saying.
Yeah, well, Eric Wilson plays linebacker, so at least when I was evaluating, I was thinking of the positional value, blah blah blah, like, and what he went for. I think DeMarcus Lawrence is 32 or 33 years old. He's coming off a year where he had
Did he get signed for 5 years?
Foot year. I'm sorry.
Did they sign him for 5 years?
But I have to be honest, I don't know what his contract is. You're the expert in that. I have no idea.
No, I
would have to look at his guaranteed money versus his incentives and all that stuff.
I'm not talking about the team that is paying him in real life. I'm talking about the guy that paid $66 for him.
Yeah, I haven't looked into that. I mean, I would imagine it's a 1-year contract, and if you want to, transition tag him, it's probably.
I saw DNs go for $180 in drafts. We talked about that, how they're cheap. Most of my values are DNs because I think they came cheap. I think DeMarcus Lawrence is a starter day one.
Okay. Yeah, I mean,
what do you pay honestly, at any position for a guaranteed starter day one at a position?
I will admit that I did not look at yours prior to making my selection. I probably would have and be better prepared for this. I don't like his age. I don't like the change of teams. I don't like the fact that he only played 4 games last season. I don't like the fact that Seattle, I don't know. He seems kind of like a dude that if they're not performing very well, he's gonna he's gonna check out pretty quick. So I don't know. I also compared him to like what Joey Bosa went for. He went for $44. I thought there was better value at like younger players on the defensive side of the ball that maybe I would have gone after with that $60. But I haven't reviewed Freshly
But
Squeezed
Joey
team yet. I
Bosa
don't know
is
his positional
also
need.
one of my favorites.
No, he's one of my favorites too. Yeah, I mean we both
Well,
agree on him.
so like it's almost like those two guys versus the world, in my opinion.
Yeah, I mean it's
Some
yeah.
value, like what you get in BC for
I just don't
$60,
I don't.
you get Tyler Conklin.
Well, yeah, I mean we're cross navigating several positions at this point.
I'm just saying, man.
I think it depends. It depends on Freshly Squeezed team build. If he gets what he's predicted to do based off of the projections in BC, like at 12 points a game, it's a great value. If he's trying to compete, I question whether or not he will still be competing at that level if Seattle's not very good, and so I disagree with that one.
I think you are over evaluating the value of somebody for 1 year. Like if you pay $66 for somebody in 1 year in this league, like, and he gives you starter caliber at,
Right. Yeah,
I mean,
that's true.
outside of cornerback, like you got to, in DT, like you got to steal.
You're absolutely correct, Ben. Like, so if I'm a competing team that needs a defensive and roster build, and I have
120 points at the end of
$175
the year,
and
we couldn't say that was a bust at 66.
he scored 45 last year. He had 29 in the first game. I mean, like, like
He was hurt the entire
33 still. Yeah, no, I get it. I don't know what he did. I'd have to pull
I
it up
like
to see what he
vets
did like the
generally
previous year.
because everyone's down on them when they have bad years. So
33 is not all that old anymore either. But okay, so we're just gonna move on.
yeah, look at
Yeah,
Harrison Smith's age.
yeah, he's gonna die on the field probably. That's okay though. Um, Die doing what you love, Harrison. Okay, so the next one was Pdiddy Funhouse, $121 on Elijah Mitchell. I had it as a positive. You had it as a negative.
You have that as a positive. You think he is running back what in Kansas City?
Well, I think the only stipulation that I will add to this is that he spent 151 on Kareem Hunt and he spent 121 on Elijah Mitchell. So he locked up what is perceived to be the number 2 and number 3 running back in Kansas City.
Yeah, but you
I do not
drafted
like
against that narrative.
Right. I see a world in which Elijah Mitchell is the outside speed kind of guy that he showed he was when healthy in San Francisco. And I think he brings something to the table on early downs that Kansas City's looking for, that Kareem Hunt doesn't bring and Isaiah Pacheco doesn't bring. So in looking at value for younger running backs in the league on an explosive offense, I thought Elijah Mitchell was a good risk at $121. Now, do I think what would he have to do to be an extendable contract? I don't think I don't think there's much he can do this year to, you can't sign him to a 3-year contract at that price. But I think if proven himself in the first year, you could definitely transition tag him. Hunt's gone next year and he sticks and he's healthy. And I think that it's possible that you could also trade him off as an asset, like week 6, week 7, if he's, a guy that's getting more than 10 to 12 touches a game. So
you love Kareem
I didn't
Hunt
mind
as
it.
well?
No, I disliked the signing of the auction price of Kareem Hunt. I would have picked one and not both, especially given P. Diddy's overall team, if that makes sense. It's like I wouldn't have tried to collect the backfield. I would have diversified. So like for instance, Pollard went for 220. I think we'll actually talk about P. Diddy. No, we won't.
You think Elijah
There's some
Mitchell
things
is
that he
in the
did in the auction.
stratosphere of Tony Pollard as a signing?
No, I would have saved my money on Kareem Hunt and I would have spent the extra $70 and got Tony Pollard and Elijah Mitchell. Diddy had a lot of money, and he had a lot. He had a very active uh, auction. I think his overall spend, I could actually pull it up real quick. Let me do that real quick. I liked what I saw out of Elijah Mitchell in San Francisco, and I think on the offense, like Kansas City, if utilized correctly and he's healthy, like I think he could be their most utilized running back this year. So yeah, he spent $704. $2 were on Kansas City running backs. One of them being Kareem Hunt, which I think I would have just let go, and I would have spent that money elsewhere. So I like the Elijah Mitchell signing. I don't like the Kareem Hunt signing.
Okay. So I recently talked about how these guys are all being paid the same. Kareem Hunt has
Yeah.
history. Pacheco has history. What would you guess? And I can't find it, meaning nobody's betting on it. What do you think is over under for yards in 2025 is?
I would guess that he can catch 20 passes and have 570 yards rushing.
Okay. He's not listed because they don't expect him over 100. Vegas doesn't. So that's a great take, but there are props for everyone else. So I think it's a lot of speculation on Elijah Mitchell. That's a lot of speculation. Kareem Hunt has history with Andy Reid. Isaiah Pacheco has history with Andy Reid. Everyone hates them. They're all donkeys. Nobody wants them. They're all dumb. But somehow, they're probably the people that Andy Reid's going to trust the most. And I like Elijah Mitchell because he has talent and he can come in and compete. But I believe Elijah Mitchell is in a heater for running back 3 with your boy that you took in the second round.
I think they're both blend backs. I think they both can be utilized as passing downs backs.
Who gets cut? Who gets cut? You have to.
Neither one of them. One of them.
So Pacheco or Hunt must get cut if they keep those 2 backs. They're not keeping 4.
No, they can keep 4.
Are you fucking high?
They can keep 4 if they can
keep
keep
a
4
fullback. They are not keeping 4, dude. They are not keeping 4.
They're not keeping Carson Steele.
Really?
They're not keeping Carson Steele.
Okay.
I would imagine it's Kareem Hunt that goes.
So you think Kareem Hunt
because
gets Do you know what Elijah Mitchell averaged per rush last year?
I'm not basing it off last year. I'm basing it off his rookie season, and he's a 4.25 40 running back that Kansas City's
4.7 year.
He was good in his rookie.
Yeah. 4.7, and then he dropped.
Kansas City's building speed,
and he dropped down. Elijah Mitchell. You can't say Elijah Mitchell had speed. He just came off of a fucking devastating injury. He's not coming off the combine. He's just, dude. He came off of
what was his devastating? What was his devastating?
The year
injury?
He came off from San Francisco. So and then came back and ran 3.2 yards per carry. And San Francisco's no thanks.
He's definitely been injury. He's been definitely injury ridden. I'm just saying. I like the upside of any back that Andy Reid puts into an offense that he identifies something that they want to utilize, and I think he's a blend back. I think he can run on first and second down. I think he can catch passes. I think he can get to the outside.
Okay.
I like what they're doing with
totally
speed on their
okay
offense.
with this conversation, but I need you to answer me one question. If Isaiah Pacheco, Carson Steele, Mitchell, and Hunt are all in the auction with your guy Smith, tell me the price they all go for, or they should have gone for. Tell me
Dynasty?
The price all 5 of those guys in BC auction. What all 5 of those? Give me their who should be paid the most in the BC auction, and give me who should have been paid the less, and tell me the amount. It's the only way I can understand how you value these guys. I can't figure it out.
Okay, well, I would,
and I will do the same. I will do the same.
Yeah, and he probably goes for Tony Pollard money. like 250, 275.
Who?
Probably he goes for the
Pacheco?
Pacheco.
But you said he's trash
He
ass.
probably goes as the I don't believe in Pacheco being a long-term asset as a GM with my team build. I do not want to spend $270 or $280 on Isaiah Pacheco. I think he can be out of the league in 3 years. Period. Okay. Now, move on to Kareem Hunt. He has been out of the league. He's gotten a reinsurgence. He's a great plotter and gets a couple points. He runs hard in like key moments. Like if I needed to bet 2 yards to get, he's going to get two. He's not going to get five. He might be able to catch a few passes. He's fucking not, to me, he's Samaje Perine. He's Zach Moss. But he's on Kansas
Oh,
City.
Zach Moss is fine.
I don't think that he's anything of value long term other than this year. And on a rebuilding team, I wouldn't have invested $270 on a third and fourth string running back on a team, or a second and third, however you perceive it. I think Pacheco and Hunt are very similar. I think Pacheco will not catch any passes. He only caught 10 passes last year. So they obviously brought in other people that differentiate their backfield this year with Smith and Elijah Mitchell that are speedsters that can catch the ball, and they're going to utilize them. It's that simple. I would pass
And
on
why
Kareem
did you
Hunt
pay the pick
and
for Smith? Oh, because you think
because I
Hunt's going to
believe
get
he's going to
cut.
catch 30 passes. I I think Carson Steele's gone, and I think Hunt is expendable if they're changing their offense to be more on the outside and drop downs, maybe not so much to Kelsey, drop downs to running backs, using running backs on wheel routes, making speed to the outside, open up the middle so Pacheco has more space to run on the Pacheco is a ferocious runner. I just don't think that he's going to hold up, and he hasn't. So, I mean, he just
Is he
hasn't. He
five
can't
first
continue to
round
keep
pick
his running.
ferocious at $24? Ferocious? I pay a lot of money for
If I had
ferocious.
Pacheco,
I dropped my drawers for
if I had
ferocious.
Pacheco, okay. So
At
what's the over under on Pacheco
$24
reaching?
running back that has
What?
ferocious
So is
attached to him?
Pacheco going to get? Let's set it. Let's set it at 900 yards. Does Isaiah Pacheco have 900 yards rushing this season?
That's the over under.
What do you think a fair number is, Ben?
I think I'm confused of why you would say he's 900 and now we're arguing all these other guys' value. That's what I don't get.
No, you're comparing the starting running back perceivably at $24. Like, that's not what I'm talking about. You've asked me 7 questions in the last fucking minute and a half. I like Elijah Mitchell as a prospect. He's still young. I think they signed him for a reason. I told you my reason.
All
You
right.
don't like it.
No,
Now we're talking about Isaiah Pacheco's contract. I'm saying he's not going to have 900 yards rushing this season. I don't think he will.
I'm saying I don't
But that doesn't mean
understand
that I
how
want to
much
spend a shitload on
overvalue
him.
there is in the Kansas City. They can only give so much value at a position. So if Pacheco can give you 900 yards,
Brashard Smith will make the roster. He won't be on the taxi squad. Pacheco will be their starting running back to start the season.
Pacheco gets
Kareem Hunt will be their
900 yards
backup. Elijah
rushing.
Mitchell will be their third.
900 yards rushing and what, like 6 touchdowns, 7 touchdowns, whatever you want to put it at. If he gets that,
All right, so I think it's fair.
Hunt
In
and
2022,
Elijah
he had
Mitchell
830.
are kind of overpriced.
I don't think Kansas City is going to run the ball as much. Just a hunch. 830 in 2022 for Pacheco, 935 in 2023, and 310 last year. So I think 900 is a very safe fucking barometer as whether or not he had a successful season.
The funny thing
He's
is I'm
eclipsed it
not
once. He was
agreeing or
close.
disagreeing with you. What I'm saying is if that's your standard number for him, where does that leave the rest of the guys? We just said
I would think that it's. I
Hunt
think
and Elijah Mitchell
Kareem
are
Hunt is
both
replaceable.
overpaid.
I think Kareem Hunt is replaceable. I think Kareem Hunt is not worth $151. I understand why someone paid for him. I don't understand why Pdiddy paid
Elijah
$151
Mitchell
for him.
is Blackshear for Carolina for $26 or whatever you went for. Like same guy.
I'll disagree.
It's
We're
the
going to
same
move on.
situation.
The third one. I think Kareem Hunt's cuttable,
So you think
and he
Hunt
won't find
and
another.
Steele
He
will
won't.
both get cut? It's crazy. All right, maybe
If
right.
I had to bet money on it, I would say that the backfield will be Pacheco, Elijah Mitchell, and Brashard Smith. That's seen the most carries throughout the season, or the most touches, not carries, touches.
I think they're the same thing. I think
All
we're
right,
like relevant or not.
oh my gosh, this is gonna get fucking fun. All right, the last one is Bradley Chubb. I gotta admit, going into this one, it was $96. West Canyon Coyotes. Boy, we'll talk about him later. You loved him. I didn't like it. I, Obviously, we have
I
a
like.
disagreement on how much money was spent at tight defensive end, but I go for it. I went first last time.
What was his price?
$96.
$96. What was the most expensive DN's price last year?
Oh, Ben, I don't know the answer to that question.
$188. I knew the answer. Sorry. I'll just lead with it. So you're telling me the best prospect got in for 50% of the money and you want me to dislike it? Just because the entire league decided to act like a bunch of bitches on the D end line? And including myself, like I could have gotten deals I've never gotten in my life on D. And everyone's just like, DN's easy, like go, but like nobody paid for anything else. Why did DNs go so cheap? Chubb is too cheap. It's too cheap. Like you're gonna pay 200 for a rotational linebacker, 160 for another rotation, like 160 for a fucking safety, $108 for a guy who retired yesterday who was a safety. Like, and like, what is Bradley Chubb going to do? Score a?
He's gonna fucking
He's gonna
party in
score a starter's
He's gonna party
points.
in Miami.
He's gonna score.
He's gonna party in Miami.
He's gonna score a starter's
on
points.
a shitty team.
It just doesn't matter. Like
in Miami.
Unless you're like sitting there like Bauer with like Aiden Hutchinson and whoever the hell is others. Oh, and Micah Parsons. And you'd be like, oh, I don't know when I'm going to use Bradley Chubb. Bradley Chubb is fucking starting for you. So when you say definitively, the end is going to start for you, no matter what, unless you have the top end. You think that price is expensive? Like that jackass went for $180 every auction historically. Every time. And like, it's like the end.
Ben, you win.
They were just pissed off this year, and I'm a little bitter about it. And I thank everyone who got great deals on DNs, and they're going to laugh in our faces. And that's why Lawrence, that's why Chubb's there. That's why, like, these DNs, like, man, I'm just like, I cannot understand. You talk about a lot, Corey, and I think it's a very valid, like, dollars for fantasy points, man, and at positions, man, like, these guys are overperforming their asses, man. Plain and simple. Like, plain and simple. Elite positions. Yeah. What if Bradley Chubb gets 12 sacks? I mean, sure, he could suck. But, like, what if he has the pedigree to get 12 sacks? That would be... Marcus Lawrence, let's just say he's an 8 to 9 sack guy at 6'6". This is where I'm coming from.
Maybe just maybe a little bit. And I'm not disagreeing with what you're saying. Okay. Maybe a little bit. I might have looked at West Canyon Coyotes overall auction and decided that was probably top 5 worst auction strategies I've ever seen in this league. Because he has Andrew Van Ginkel, he has Rashawn Gary, he drafted Travon Walker.
Yeah, but we're not. Let's get there, Walker. Corey. We can talk about the.
So rosters. he has three, and then he spent $61 on Kyle Van Noy. So now he has 5 starting defensive ends. 5 starting defensive ends on his roster.
So the asshole who's telling everyone, make sure you draft value so you can trade it to contenders, is saying that having 5 great DNs was a bad idea.
Well, I think he has
at good prices.
He is a competitor. I think he is a, well, we'll talk about it in the next segment. I think he has a chance to compete for the league title this year.
I think if we want to
I mean,
shame somebody for
maybe
not having an
middle of the
embarrassment of
road.
riches when they have an embarrassment of riches, we'll get to
I
his
just think
roster.
that I think okay, so I probably, like I'm saying, I'm thinking a little bit more all-encompassing about how he went about his auction strategy, and I would have spent the $96 somewhere else.
Okay,
That's probably something that
I
went
did
into
not
my
do this. I
evaluation
did
of it.
not
It doesn't mean
evaluate.
I disagree
No,
with
no,
you his value as a defensive end.
Corey, we graded differently. I graded individually how a player's value is versus where they are in player valuations in the league. It doesn't matter if you needed a safety. It doesn't matter if you didn't need a safety
That's
at
fair.
the end of it. That's how I graded. So if we conflict for that reason and we're arguing,
Ben,
we're
I
kind of
honestly
different points.
I couldn't tell you who the top 15 defensive ends in the league were right now. Like,
Yes, you
honestly.
can. You're
I
acting
can tell you that
like
I have two. I
you
can
can
tell
be
you.
lazy
No,
about
no, no. I'm not.
analysis because you don't know.
No,
You
no, no.
definitely know.
I honestly can't because I know I have two of them. So I don't want a third, a fourth, and a fifth. So, and I'm not looking to, so that goes into my thought process. Again, I do not have enough time to understand everything that someone's doing, but when I look at his team and I see Andrew Van Ginkel had 250 points last year, Travon Walker had 193, Rashawn Gary, ascending player, had 134. I'm not spending $96 on Bradley Chubb. I'm spending it at my wide receiver room. So we're going to move on. The auction is now complete, and so is our commentary on it. We're going to move
Well done,
into
Corey.
our
We did good.
our Mac evaluation. Jesus Christ! Can you imagine if we would have went through every single player?
No, I
All
mean,
right.
yes, I could have.
How do we do this? How do we attack this? So the way I looked at the standings, I just went whoever was listed in the
Are we doing
standings
the
as the
analysis
site
of the
lists them.
division?
The return of the Mac, bud. The
Return
return
of the
of
Mac.
the
Oh
Mac.
my God. Here I am. Ba-da-da-ba-da-ba-dum. All right, let's go. I'm ready.
Return of the Mac.
Oh my God.
All right.
Sorry, I
So
got kids sleeping. I can't go too, yeah.
yeah. All right. So here's what we're gonna do. We're not gonna release the overall rankings of the division, but we're gonna start off with
What?
our dear friend. Well, until the end. Until the end.
Oh, okay. Oh,
We're
yeah,
gonna
yeah.
talk
We're
about
not
this.
analyzing until the end and then we rank. That's what you want to do?
And then we'll give our rankings of the teams. Yep. So I will let you go first on the first team, and then you can go first on the second team. The first team is the Mighty Orphans, our dear friend Jason Bauer. So you get to analyze his team without giving away his ranking, and that's the structure.
Okay, so I'm gonna make it super easy for everyone at home because I did a grading system, so I didn't have to get long-winded about shit in general. Okay, so I graded
Well,
the
that'll be next to impossible.
Uh, if you continue to interrupt with my subtle digs that you despise so much, I might have to. No, we're good. So I'm gonna say the grade I'm going to give for each position: quarterback, running back, wide receiver, tight end, and then everywhere. And then I'm
I
going
like
to say
that.
why. And that way you can be like, okay, great. So Mighty Orphans is got a B grade for quarterback, a C grade for running back, an A grade for wide receiver, a B grade for tight end, an A grade for defensive tackle, an A grade for defensive end, a D grade for linebacker, a B grade for cornerback, and a B grade for safety. So,
Interesting.
Corey, do you want to
Can I
know
ask you a question?
any of my analysis that I just gave you? What do you disagree with or want to
Yes.
know about?
Let's just start at the top. So you gave at the running back or quarterback position, I
Quarterback
agree
position.
with. I think that's a very valuable. Yeah, 5-year contract, $17, first round draft pick, like could be a good or could be a bust. Still pretty decent value. Agree with that. Running back, what was your grade again?
Oh, I thought you were listening. The
Oh yeah, I
running
was listening.
Okay. Running back
I
grade is
just
a C.
okay. So obviously we have Alvin Kamara, who's nearing the tail end, $323
Sure.
contract. We have nothing really else there other than the fact that he drafted Trevor in ETN, which I think is a pretty good value where he drafted him. So he has no depth. He has one suitable starter to start the league off,
Yeah, I
and
like
then nothing
ETN
else.
enough. I'm going to
So,
give him a C plus. I should have given him a C plus. But if you have one guy
okay, that's fair.
that you know will get you points and everything else is like kind of a coin flip and like injury luck and quite frankly he doesn't have a lot of darts, right? It's like he needs ETN and Kamara like to like work and no
Well, I
injuries
just don't see any
stuff.
future. I see no
So do you
I
think a
see no
C grade
future in
is
his
too high or too low?
man. I I think I see no future. I
Okay.
mean, even if he competes, which I think that he's middle of the pack this year. I'm not going to give away his ranking. Even if he competes this year, this has to be either the last year of Alvin Kamara or maybe 2 years left, and then he has nothing left that's proven. So it's scary. I like the pick of Trevor Etienne. I thought he got good value on him. I mentioned that in my draft grade of him, but everything else is a cuttable offense. So I would say a C was probably accurate. I would have gone with a C minus on the running back grade.
That's fine.
Where we
I
really disagree,
Yes.
where we really disagree is you gave his wide receiver room an A, and I don't see that at all. Here's the reason why. Obviously, I'm a Bears fan. I love DJ Moore. He's still young, $286 contract. I would sign him all day at that level. I think he's got 3, 4 good years left in the system. He has never had a good quarterback situation. I still think he's a top 20 wide receiver in the league. Problem I have with it is the only other person that I see as a starter is Luther Burden, and they play for the same team. And so after that, I don't see anybody that, as an individual player, I would give more than a C minus to as far as his wide receiver room. So I don't understand where you're getting an A grade out of that. To me, that's one of his biggest weaknesses.
You think it's wide receivers his biggest weakness?
I honestly don't even know who half his wide receivers are. I trade
Okay.
him as A Jones. Like, good luck. Jamal Agnew, okay. Jalen Cooper, he must know something I don't. Ben
He clearly
Skrenak,
does. He's a
like,
Dallas Cowboys
okay.
fan and paid $5 for him. Like, I don't know. So I
He's
will
he's
say,
he's not going to make the team.
so you think,
So where
in your
Rondale Moore,
professional opinion,
maybe as a
DJ Moore
returner,
and Luther Burden are the only people who make teams on his roster?
I would imagine that he has two players on in his wide receiver room that either stay with the same team or are not free agents within in the season. So
Okay.
I don't understand how you get an A grade out of
So an A grade, okay, first of all, I'm going to say one thing, and this is fair to say. It's the first one I graded, and then it went down. Most of general rosters that I've looked at in BC, he blows them away. In this division, maybe not the same. So it's probably not a wide receiver grade of A is probably incorrect because he has.
Yeah, I would put it at like a C.
I wouldn't put it as C. No fucking way. Because he has Luther Burden. And if you think Luther Burden isn't a long term asset while he has DJ Moore, let's just go through the practice of looking at wide receiver on team by team. It's gross.
Are we talking about okay, hold on. Are we talking about this year or Dynasty?
This is
Because I
a
think that's
team
important when we're
review.
ranking a team for
This
this
is a
year.
team review.
Okay. So
Now
for
and
long-term
tomorrow.
asset, like
Now and tomorrow.
long-term
Where's his
assets,
team? Would you
if he
take it
moves
versus another?
if if he moves like something that I would just throw out there in the universe. If he trades DJ Moore for Deebo Samuel. Does he have a C or an A? I would say now he has probably like more a C plus. Because I don't see any other depth that is going to score points on his team other than maybe Rondale Moore. That's a bad contract, man. If he's just returning kicks.
No, he's not just
I don't
returning
know.
quests. He got 3 years from the Steelers.
He has.
It just.
All right, so
we're going to split hairs on a very weird
depth.
Bears conversation, which is you think DJ Moore has no value or Luther Burden has no value. And I can't tell which it is.
No, they both have value. I see
on
nothing past
level?
that. There's no other
on
value.
Apex level or shit cocksucker level?
He would have to prove it by like trading one of those two players to someone else to differentiate. I don't see how.
What do you think?
Or is it
so
DJ Moore has to be
DJ Moore's worth Deebo Samuel?
No, he's worth more.
I just don't understand
I'm just
your
trying
argument.
I'm trying to figure out contract.
Okay. I believe Luther Burden, because we both believe in him.
Okay, exchange DJ Moore for McLaurin.
Yeah. You think this is a C wide receiver if it's Terry McLaurin instead of DJ Moore? Let's just look at the rest of the wide receivers.
You can only start 2.
Okay, so you want to give a lot of...
We haven't got to your team.
You want to give a lot of Fs.
Your team yet.
You want to give a lot of Fs. I don't want to give Fs because people are building for future and for now and for later, and it's like
I think if Luther Burden hits and he's worth 2 or 3 first rounders, then yeah, he can build his wide receiver room. Right now, I don't think he has.
I
one.
agree.
I think he has 2 players that can actually start.
I'm changing it to a B because I forgot this was the first thing I did, so I'll change it to a B. But I'm not dying on the hill that
if he moves,
like two elite starter asset values, short or long term, that you just dismissed.
We don't know if Luther Bird is elite yet. As a Bears fan, we
don't know if Luther Bird can trade him for?
Elite. 2 firsts and a 3rd, like Gabe Davis.
Sounds like trash. Sounds like trash ass. 2 firsts.
No, I wouldn't trade him for anything. Okay, so here's the perfect situation. Had he drafted Jaden Higgins instead of Luther Burden or Golden instead of Luther Burden, I would probably give him a C plus. As far as his wide receiver room, C plus.
You would have given him
has no depth.
Better grade.
I'm a depth guy.
You would have given him a better grade
because
so you don't care about assets.
I don't understand how you draft 2 wide receivers on the same team. I don't understand how you draft 2 wide receivers. Okay. He's a competing team. He's in the top 5.
He was the best player on the board. It wasn't close, and you're bitter you didn't get him, and you're acting like an asshole. Let's move on.
Honestly, if I could go back in time, if I could go back in time, I'd probably have less Luther Burden and I'd have more Jaden Higgins.
Awesome.
But that's just me.
I'll go buy him off your sucker ass like I got JSN off of everyone.
Okay, so my draft grade was great value on Burden and Fannin and ETN.
Great value on Burden.
I also gave him an option. He was a great value. I just don't like the fact that he has DJ Moore on the same team on his roster, and those are his only 2 wide receivers. That's it. I don't know. I don't know how to. Okay, maybe diversify a little bit.
Oh my God! You don't need to diversify. You just need to get points. It's like so nonsensical. It's like, oh well, there's going to be a buy.
Well, if one gets 20 points in one game and the other one gets 4, that's 24 points a game. I'd rather get 15 out of 2 guys. That's pretty easy math. That's 6 extra points.
Yeah, just draft the shittier player just because you want to think your math is good. All right, go ahead.
We're never going to get through this, Ben. We're not going to get through this.
We're not.
Okay. So I love Bauer. I'm just saying I would never.
If you're going to dispute my grades,
that I think
it's going to take this long, we'll never get through
stars. I expect them to be stars. They can't both be stars in the same game consistently. That's my point. I gave him a C plus.
I don't have your grades, by the way, which makes this very bullshit.
I know this. Yeah, well, you just gave me your grades. You gave an A to his fucking wide receiver room, and then instantly went back to a B as soon as I questioned it. So,
and then did.
No, you just gave it to me. I can't believe that you gave him an A for the fucking wide receiver room, dude.
What did you give him?
I can't believe it.
What did you give him? Put your fucking name on something in this podcast. Quit being a pussy. Put
I
your
gave him
fucking
a
name on
C.
something. Where?
I
Where's your secret?
I
Where's
did.
your
Josh
grades
Jacobs,
for
seventh
everything?
overall. They're on my spreadsheet. I'm going to go
Your
through my
spreadsheet that no
grades
one
right
will ever
now for
see,
Mighty
and I'm going
Orphans.
to give this spreadsheet to the entire league. Next position is
Dude, if
tight
people
end,
listen
Corey.
to this and hold on, can I finish my evaluation of his team? Please. Auction grade. I gave him a C plus. He had $212 to spend, not a lot of money. Didn't get any impact players and didn't fill depth at positions like wide receiver, safety, and cornerback. Okay. A on the draft trade. Got great value on Burden and Fannin and ETN. Loved his draft. He was on a boat to Alaska. Good. Team strengths. Very strong DN room with impact players. Has minimum solid starters at every position. So like he has two at every position that he can field a pretty good, starting roster. I like that when I evaluate a team. Team weaknesses, lack of positional depth at running back. We talked about it. Linebacker, which you graded like think a D,
Yeah.
and wide receiver. I don't like positional depth at wide receiver. Burden more on the same team limits offensive upside at key position, limited upside on offense in general. That is my overall evaluation of his team. So now we're on to the tight end position. I was on Will Disley. I wanted him early. I don't mind the spend there if he hits. Good. Kyle Granson, backup tight end, third tight end, whatever. Connor Hayward, definitely a third tight end, and John Stevens. We'll give him a C plus on his tight end room. I don't know what you gave him, but
I'm
that's
not going to
that's where I have
argue
it. He
every
doesn't have
position.
a
You've shown that we have to have some
Will
battle
Disley.
over it. It's silly. Give your analysis. I'll
Yeah.
give mine, and we'll move on.
So the reason why I gave him a C plus at the tight end position is
You just
because
told
Will
us
Disley
why.
could
Go to
either be
the
the
DT,
starter.
please, for fuck's sake, so we can get through
He
this.
could either be good. He could either be good, or he could either be the second tight end. And so, like, there's, I don't care about the other
We're not
tight ends.
finishing this for 3 hours if you keep
DT.
this up.
Now I'm winded. Defensive tackle. I didn't evaluate. Okay, good,
You
fine.
didn't
Defensive tackle,
evaluate positions
great.
and
Not
graded
really.
people.
No, no. I approached it differently. Defensive end, fucking strong as shit. Okay, he has two stud defensive ends. Start him.
I approached it differently. I ignored defense. Oh, this is good.
I don't value the defensive tackle position as much as everybody else.
Okay.
I want to start one. If
So
I
it's
have
an
two
NA.
ones that are
It's an NA
top
for everyone. INC for
no,
everyone.
I'm well.
Okay. So if you're
Depends
getting
on my depth at linebacker. Depends on my depth at linebacker and defensive end. Otherwise, I'm not starting a defensive tackle that could give me 1 point 1 week and 18 points the next week. I want one defensive tackle that I can start every week, and I want a backup defensive tackle.
Okay.
That's it.
Okay, so
That's my evaluation.
Okay. Great evaluation. Great evaluation. So if you're gonna give
A plus defensive end room.
why? He has two guys.
Would you like to discuss the linebackers?
He has two guys and you
Okay,
gave him an
so
A
an
plus.
A-
He has nobody for a bye week. You gave him an A plus, and there's no conversation. I don't care. That's fine. It's the two best in the pack. He has the two best
Well,
starters.
he does have his bye weeks are 10-8. His bye weeks are 10-8.
Cool.
So he has the two best
Why would you
DNs in the league.
want extra defensive tackles when you only have two DNs? Oh, wait, does he have linebackers? No, he doesn't. Does he have cornerbacks? Safety? No, he doesn't. So maybe that's when you want to have two good defensive tackles because you don't have a flex position anywhere else. So discounting that offended me a tad, but we're good. Let's keep going.
Well, I think he has. Defensive ends that are going to score, or defensive tackles that are going to score points. Like, Jesus, Garachos. Like, I just don't value the defensive tackle position.
The second you're just dismissing a position and telling everyone it's shit, you need to back it up. So defensive tackle is shit.
I'm just saying I would rather have I'd rather have, but he has cheap defensive tackles, so it's a good room. They score points and he can play
Total
them. That's
$20 with
fine.
three very good prospects.
I would I would remove my A+ ranking on the defensive end, because you're right. He only has two, and
I think
I
your
don't
A
really
plus
know the other
ranking
two
at
guys.
defensive end is as egregious as my A ranking on the wide receiver. So we'll both agree to adjust, and we'll move on.
Okay, move on. Linebackers, we both agree it's a shit linebacker room,
Yes,
other than
back.
Cody Barton.
It's one guy good and a lot of has to go right. And like I'm in this position too, but like I don't know, just because of the way I feel about who he has, like I think it's gonna be really hard to even get a sec. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Like I think like
yeah. I mean, when you need to start
most of these
four
are
linebackers
fourth
consistently,
stringers, not third stringers. You know what I mean? So it's like we'll get to my roster.
I
I'm
need
not
four
over the
guys
moon
that.
over my shit, but I was hey man.
Well,
But
we'll get to yours last.
well, but K
We definitely need to 8 to 10.
JOK might come back this year. So for long term, it's like D's probably bad because like he has JOK long term, and next year, by the
I
end,
don't mind Eichenberg either.
no, Eichenberg could win a job, but like JOK, if he was coming like week 3, week 4, like I would have gave him a way better grade. But I think JOK is like gonna miss a lot of the season, and that sucks. Just like it's one of his.
Well,
big draft picks.
what if he had Levante David for what if he would have went all in and got Levante David in that linebacker room this year for $212, and that's all he spent in the auction.
I like Sidney Brown at 55. I think he got value for the same amount of money to fill out his roster enough. Like it's not like he's sitting there going like, "Why do you have
Yeah.
$200 left over?" Right? I know we'll eventually
Yeah,
get to the point where the Mike Evans payoff
Mando.
went through,
Oh, yeah.
but like we're gonna have to look at it and be like, well, you know, does he have no cornerbacks? Does he have no depth? Because he just blew it up. Like I don't know. It's hard for me to give that direct
Or
correlation.
you can be like or you can be like Mando and only have 28 people on your roster, and all tight.
All right, so Pdiddy's Funhouse was kind of a tough little grade. I'll go through the grades real quick. It was quarterback at a B, running back at a C minus, wide receiver B plus, tight end A minus, D tackle B plus, D end a D, linebacker an F, cornerback C minus, and safety C plus. So
I like it. Let me give you my insight real quick, just on, and then we'll just have an open discussion. So again, we kind of went about this a little bit differently. I gave him a B on his auction. He spent $702 in cap. He reserved $235. I thought he could have used the remaining cash on a high value target, like someone that was an impact player. I see him as a competitor with some of the strengths that he has through younger players and whatnot. He filled his roster nicely, just not sure he acquired retainable or movable assets for his help in his rebuild. I would have spent, like we talked about, money on Pollard instead of a combo of Mitchell and Hunt. But I think he did a pretty good job of getting good value on younger assets without overspending. And then on the draft grade, I gave him an A. He had limited picks, but got most polarizing player in the pool, and Hunter could be an absolute freaking steal at number 3. And then Nair is making some noise at rookie camp, and that's a pretty decent value for a 6th-round pick. His team strengths I have as Hunter, obviously, and then Bowers and JMO. Those are 3 pretty good studs to like build a franchise off of, I think. I'm not sure why he overpaid for JMO, or maybe perceived overpaid for JMO, but if he thinks he can compete and, get in on the super pot and, try to make a run at winning his division, then like JMO's a really good player to help him do that. And then overall, I just from weaknesses, I don't think his team is completely ready to compete. He has no linebackers, DNs. He needs to move as many pieces as possible to get draft capital, and not lock into long-term contracts that are expensive with some of the spend that he had in the auction. So that was my overall assessment.
Yeah, and like I think like what you analyze much more than me is like the the spending discipline, right? Like I'm just trying to look pragmatically at a roster. Is it good or is it trash? And I think you coming across with the process is good because you're putting up the like fallibility of like, you know, for example, he's got $235 left over. So if we want to analyze and break down like what his roster is like now with extra money, like we could look at Mando's roster and be like, he's missing a lot of pieces, but he had $5. Right, and so there's like missed opportunity, Tony, which is I think your analysis captivates much more than mine when I'm giving these grades.
You put Tony Pollard in his running back room at $225.
Yeah, like, I take no considerations of like what current cap is when I'm grading position. Kind of just be like, hey, how are you now? But I think
right.
But I think that's why both our analyses are interesting, right? Like, and to your point, I'll go very very fast through this. You just like you get a dollar quarterback. You cannot get worse than a B grade with a dollar quarterback. Period. You get a quarterback for 5 years. You cut him for no money, and that's the way it works. So I think like quarterback grades are fine. I think everything else is just I don't like the running backs because I don't like the players he has. I do like the wide receiver range of outcomes he has and the future prospects that he has, but there's not a lot to look at in guaranteed equity, right? Like you can't just say, like there's a lot of hopeful, but I like a lot of hopeful. Like we could look at this guy's wide receivers.
I loved Kendrick Bourne at the value he got. I think he's a proven player.
He might get cut and you know, but like I agree. $41. It's nice.
He has two studs in his wide receiver room that like are his franchise with Brock Bowers.
Great base.
Yeah, and then
this probably has a better prospect of being an A than than Mighty Orphans. By the way, I should flip their grades.
Agreed.
Just because you have very nice. Base starters,
and I would disagree with your I would disagree with your A minus on the tight end room. I would give that an A. Like I don't think you can have a top 3 dynasty fucking
my
tight
A
end.
minus like, is interestingly on the cap spent.
Okay. So Colby Parkins is expensive. Jesus Christ.
So it's like if you just ride or die with Brock Bowers and get a nice little $180 to fuck around and find out. Now, granted, I like Waller, but like there's almost just like there's a lot of cap to that position.
Well, like we talked about though, like Waller could almost be perceived as a fourth.
That's the only reason it's
receiver.
A minus, man. It's the cap allotted. It's like I'm not saying it's a B. Like I'm just dinging a little bit. An excellent room, or that's where I'm coming from.
And where he's struggling is just on the defense side of the ball.
It's really tough. It's really tough. Like
it's awful. So that's 11 positions in a 22 team.
I thought about this with a couple of the guys that still have cap. Like if they can save some miracle, that like so we haven't gone into this a bunch, but we're gonna have 3 waiver periods, which has never happened before because of the way the calendar is falling. So there is one like early August, like August 2nd, I think. Everyone get ready. And then there's 3 in August. And so that is 3 periods. You can grab players, you can extend them if they're looking great, but we've never had this much money available for these first come first serve. So like to everyone out there, if you made a mistake and have a lot of cap left, like training camps are about to happen, and these players are going to come available in the next 3 waiver periods, and I think you can get a starter or two on aggressive bidding, but you just like sadly there's a bunch of people with $200, you know.
Yeah, sad. So let's move on. We'll get to his overall grade, but I think he's in that position of
The defense is
am I
tough.
competing or am I competing or am I tanking? And I think he maybe underestimated how much points are scored on the defensive side of the ball and probably overpaid for some positions that he could have expended to help
I
that
think he
out.
got
But
some really good rebuild value. So I think as a rebuilding candidate, I think there's some good stuff going on.
he's gonna have to work to move
Yeah, but this year
some
it's tough.
some capital. Yeah. All right. So West Canyon Coyotes. I'm gonna go first. On the auction value, I gave him a D plus. Like I've been pretty transparent about why. He spent $576 with a reserve of $355. He was not active. He showed up, dropped a bunch of bombs on everybody, and it was way too late in the process to actually move the auction in a way that someone with his cap and with his base of a team, I just think it's kind of how he showed up to the draft. He showed up down to the last minute, made a good pick, and then moved on. Like I just think you have to be active in this league in order to compete, and I think it's going to hurt him as far as a true competitor in the league in the long run. Maybe not this year. I have him ranked pretty high. Although he got good value at some marginal positions, didn't use cap wisely to get impact players, and not spending funds was baffling unless a long-term strategy to take cap dumps is in play. But like I said, I think I have him in the top half of the league from his roster. I don't understand what his mentality was going into the auction. Maybe he's just kind of in this league for fun. Maybe he just like wants to see where he's at. Good luck. You'll probably be middle of the pack the rest of your career in BC. On the draft value, I give him an A. Loveland, loved it, obviously. And then I liked the Savion Williams pick in I think it was a late second. And then he got Stool, who I had heard about in a podcast and went immediately to see if he was available or if I could snag him. And like Kansas City Chiefs tight end, I liked it. His strengths, RB room is super spicy with 2 of the top 15 running backs in Dynasty with we have James Cook and Bucky Irving. So I think you got pretty good value on Edwards-Helaire. Maybe there's a resurgence there. Patrick Taylor, Gus Edwards for $16. I don't know. Maybe he has life. I feel like that's a pretty decent RB room. Love the pick of Loveland. I think once you solidify a top 5-7 tight end in the league, like he can either be sold off for multiple parts or like just capitalize on that. I would be very, very weary of him being on my taxi squad because a contender can come around with too late first or figure out how to negotiate that and like snag him. So it's very, very scary to have someone that's in the top 10 in a draft on your taxi squad. I think he has solid depth at linebacker. If speed, I know you're down on him, but if he has like a good year, then I think he's pretty okay at linebacker, and then he has a good defensive end room. The weaknesses to me is kind of the overall like value of the wide receiver room. Like we talked about, like he did do a pretty good job of getting like Dotson and some younger players that like could maybe fill the 3rd or 4th spot. But the fact that he didn't use his draft capital can impact player like Mike Evans or even Alec Pierce or someone else like to fill that third spot like is baffling. I think he's got a pretty good squad overall. Like I just really kind of uncertain about what his overall competitiveness is as a like actual GM. In trying to take his team to the next level.
Yeah, okay, so like I'll go very quick on my summary with this team. I never thought I would grade this team this high based off of his auction. Like I never thought I'd look at this guy's team and be like, shit. But like if everyone who fumbled the draft, nobody has a better team than this guy.
Well, he drafted well.
No, sorry, the auction.
Right.
I think, okay, so if you, like, the tight end, I gave him a B because, like, Loveland's still in his taxi squad, and I don't think his supporting cast has much to offer other than supporting cast. But I think Loveland's good enough that it's like what you want. A B grade's fine. Like every position, his quarterback value, A. Like running back value, dude, those are filthy assets, man. Like Bucky, Irvin, and Cook. Like gross. The wide receiver are to be desired, but and again, to your point with money. Like if he could have just snagged a couple pieces there, like man, like we're just like having a different story.
Well, his wide receiver room is awful. The fact that he didn't spend on wide receivers in the auction
his D tackle room, and again we've talked about how worthless these assholes are, even though somebody went for $120. D tackle room has like 5 elite guys that he's going to be able to trade at any point for good value. Like, his D tackle room has more money allocated than probably I'd like, but, like, he has
he has $355 left in spend. He could have got Mike Evans and almost Tyreek Hill in his wide receiver room.
But his D tackle room's A+.
Baffling.
His D end room is A. His linebacker room should be shit. It's a B grade, man. It's good. It's not. It's desirable.
I love the Jalen Ford. I love the Jalen Ford signing. I love the Bentley signing.
He's got young talent, backup potential, and a couple studs to start. That's all we want in this league. And so it's like, okay, cool. Like his cornerbacks are apex. And then it's like safeties are just be a little desired. So it's like, okay, we have $300 and a couple moves we didn't
engage, Maverick, engage. Let us know what you're up to, West Canyon Coyotes.
There's no roster in this league that I think could have benefited of being like I'm not saying he's not a contender. I'm saying like he could have made our top 3 list of rosters with just a little bit better spending. Like that's a little bit better effort. Good his roster is. Like
I wouldn't go as the top 3, but I would say he certainly could win a division in
I had him
what I perceive as a weaker division.
Spoiler alert, I have him 5, and the more I keep looking at these teams, he should probably be over even me. Like it's just some fucking crazy reason. I'm trying to talk myself out of him because of his errors, but the roster's good.
Well, I'm not going to spend any more time on it because he obviously doesn't spend a ton of time on this. So, yeah, I'm going to move on. He's in a really good spot. So the next one we have is you want me to go with my recap first? Or you want to go first?
You go first. I mean, I can give you the grades. We go to the recap. Brute Force. I want to see if your Well, actually, I treated him pretty poorly, so maybe I'll go first, and then maybe you're nicer.
No, I mean, he's where he
All
belongs.
right.
But it's to be expected out of
All right, so I'll go grades.
you
Fast
guys.
track. Quarterback
Fast track.
B, running back C, wide receiver C, tight end B, tackle F. Didn't give a lot of those, but had to. D end B plus, linebacker C plus, cornerback B, safety B plus.
Okay.
It's the only team
I-
I think I graded with 0 A's.
all right. Well, Larry, hear me out. So I gave him a C in the auction with $948 that he spent with $175 in reserve. He spent over $460 on Dobbs, Blackshear, and Dowdle,
Yeah.
who are low impact players with doubtful trade and are doubtful trade assets. So we've discussed that. I don't think we need to beat that up anymore. In the draft, I gave him an A. I think he got good value on Jack Betch, who kind of fell a little bit. Samson, who obviously has kind of walked
These
into a
rookies
situation
really
that,
raised where I had them. That's just what's crazy.
yeah,
Like these grades could have been way worse, but like just like you, I like the Samson pick. I like the Beck pick like a lot.
yeah, and then he
So
got
future's
Harris
good.
with an early draft pick, who could be a wide receiver one, like given the upside in New England. And then, I think he made a really sound, strong pick at like 223, if I'm not mistaken, for Starks, like the safety. Like I think that's where you take an
Good
impact
spot.
safety position
Yeah.
and like lock him in. I said, as far as strength, good job building a foundation for an orphan team. Has tradable vet assets. Sampson could be a great return of investment. He has good depth at each position, but may be wasted with an overall non-competitive roster. So what I mean by that is, like, he tried to build a team that was depthful at each position, but kind of failed because he didn't think about some of the things that we've already talked about. Is like, you're not going to compete this
Yeah.
year, dude. Like, you're in the bottom half of the division. You're an orphan team. So my strategy would have been to collect assets that were movable and not worry so much about, like, oh, I have 4 defensive tackles and I have 5 linebackers, like, and just wasting 20-30 bucks on each one of them. I would have used accumulation of all those dollars and fucking tanked, to be quite honest, and just move those assets as I could. His weakness is a lack of star caliber, really at any position. He has too much invested in non-extendable or taggable players that will return value. So, like, there's nobody on his team that, like, he got in the auction that I think he's going to be able to tag or extend past a 1-year contract. He has boomer bust rookie players. He has boomer bust rookie players, but they are the foundation of his team. So, like, if Jack Betch hits, great. If Sampson hits, great. If Harris hits, great. Like, those are 3 very strong assets, but they're kind of boomer bust players. Again, talking about, okay, if I have 119 or 120 and 201, do I move that to go get a stud and use that as an asset moving forward? So he's really dependent on his draft, and I don't think he did a very good job in his auction. So, like, I think he's going to have to really reevaluate what he's doing moving forward to be in position to win 2 or 3 years from now.
Yeah, I don't think,
And that's a tough thing to do when you join a league that
he's in
you want to be
position to
competitive.
win this year in any way, shape, or form. However, when you talk about a building value, I do think that he has taken a decision to take backups at a certain price point on a lot of positions that will give value if there's injury. So it's like, okay, cool. What happens if Blake Cashman gets hurt? Like, can he trade, not keep and try and win Eric Wilson, but can he trade Eric Wilson, who's now a starter, for picks or good contract assets? So, like, I don't think he doesn't have assets to move because he took huge gambles. Like, Chad Muma is a rotational guy whose contract's expiring. Like maybe he's good later.
I like the Chad Muba. I
But
mean,
he's still
I like. I mean,
$60, man. Like I'm just telling you, like a lot of these situations for me when I was trying to invest and get value for long term, they didn't happen. But could you?
right.
But can you get the backup? And when their injury happens, and it's like this is the next guy up. If you're a bad team, like I think this is, can you be savvy enough to trade that guy to rebuild your roster? That's what I think he needs to do.
If I would have had $1,300 in cap or $1,200 in cap, whatever it is, I would rather have seen him have a team that's built like Mando with 28 people rostered, knowing that if I don't score any points, but I have studs that I can trade off through the course of the season that give me draft assets or younger contracts and potential studs to replace for people that are going to help competitive teams win, I'd make that decision all day long instead of trying to fill 53 rosters. Look, that you're not filling roster spots that are going to compete in that year. I am not going
to assume this guy's strategy because he has $175 left over, and he wouldn't pay.
It's the same strategy that you always get into when you're
Grady Jarrett $11. Okay, so or whatever. Like he wouldn't pay. He's got Redmond and Ajomo. Like those are not startable D tackles. It's just like it's not like you can't find these guys, but like at the same time, like if you go get I got a legit starter for $5. I saw some people who got legit starters for $2, $3, and $1.
I bid on the same guy that you wanted the
for
Cleveland
$7, and
defensive.
He's up
for $7.
100 to 110 point D tackle. So why do you have two guys who are going to get no points over a guy who get 110 for $7? I just think the management was interesting, and like that's why I applaud these guys who have like 5 elite defensive tackles on good prices.
I just think it's just like the first year you join the league, Ben. The first year that you join the league, like you want to compete and you want to see like how it's all built. Like that's what I did. I'm like, there's no reason. And then you end up with 5 wins, and you're like, I suck. And then I get like the 12th pick or 8th pick, and you don't know that experienced vets are already like, I'm not going to score points this year. I don't want points unless I can move.
Backup defensive ends up the ass. And if any of the injuries happen, if he is just real to his roster and like I'm rebuilding, he gets to trade those for picks, right?
And he had a good draft, so
or an IR guy.
Yeah, his draft capital. Yeah,
or grab an IR.
Yeah, an IR
guy.
That
like will work for you next year.
Yeah.
I just think this brute forcing it to me, like when I look this roster up and down, it's like I want to destroy it and to be whatever. But it's like, but if you're smart with it, the roster just like be smart with
it. He brute forced his ignorance into a 7th ranking in the league for me. So. Welcome, Larry. I love you, dude.
In the division or the league?
In the division.
I think I have him 7 too.
Okay,
it's nothing personal.
So we're gonna move on.
Just, he's a rebuilding team.
He's a rebuilding team. He was always going to be a rebuilding team.
Saquon Johnson. Talk to me, Goose.
Yeah. All right, so with Saquon, I gave him a C+, slightly better. He had $560 spent in the auction. He did a good job utilizing entire cap and building a roster, but don't see any high asset players retained. Would have loved to see him acquire Pollard or Evans. B+ on the draft, decent value on Pat Bryant, which we talked about, and Montague and Jalen Walker. I love the fact that he took a defensive end earlier that could be a staple for his team. All 3 could be contributors in year 1 or 2. I like Montague. I'm a Bears fan. I think he's a decent investment. Would have liked to had him in BC, but couldn't get there. He has a solid tight end room. This is his strengths. Bond is highly movable asset. He's like a $70 top five linebacker. I think he should be trying to move him all day long and get exactly what he's worth. He has decent depth at each position, but lacks tier one starters. But he has a very good safety room. I wish I had a safety room. Weaknesses, all there is
Very
depth.
nice.
The depth of lacks studs at every position outside of defensive end and safety. Wide receiver room is well below par and is highly dependent on Pat Bryant and Betch becoming wide receiver 1 or 2 respectively in the next 2 or 3 years. So again, another orphan team, kind of caught in the middle of what we're trying to do to rebuild. I think he did a pretty good job drafting people. I think he didn't do a very good job in the auction. He has some decent guys that he can move to get assets that are better for the next 2 or 3 years, and I think he's slightly better than brute force.
I think he's much better than slightly. I don't know. I thought I was being hard on him, but it sounds like I wasn't. I have his quarterback at a B, a running back at a B. I have his wide receiver crew at a D plus, but like thinking about at least the rookies, like that is the only hope. The rest is really bad, right? Like imagine if those guys flop. Like this is the worst wide receiver room possibly in the league. Tight end I give him B plus. Could have given him an A minus. Like it's a good room. D tackle B, DN B, linebacker B minus, cornerbacker A minus, and safety B. So that's my
Man, I wish I had a safety room. That was a safety room, but
his safety room is like, I mean, Kyle Duggar and Nick Cross could just clean it, but nobody else is like guaranteed like a big role. But he has a bunch of guys with experience. So, like, let's just say an injury or two happens and all of a sudden he has 5 starting safeties. He could have some real awesome trade value. You know what I mean?
yeah. I mean, I don't know how much more time we can spend on his team other than the fact that it's kind of the same thought process. It's like good draft picks. Would have used those picks maybe to move up and get a more safe bet in the draft. But Pat Bryant could be fucking Michael Thomas reincarnated. So
No, he has to
not bad,
He has to be, or the roster is
I
trash.
did like the Betch value. Betch fell,
Yes.
in the draft, and he got him like really good. I was trying to move
That's
up
probably
to get
why
him,
he doesn't
like where he was
deserve the
falling.
D. Like, because my
Yeah.
personal bias wants to believe that Jeff Besh is going to be a guy.
I think both Larry and Mike are pretty savvy guys. I just think that this is a very hard league to come into in the first year and like not compete. And I think they probably could have moved up in the standings a little bit if they just would have used their draft capital smarter to get some more studs. So I think they're kind of in the same boat. I have, like I said, Mike, Saquon,
Daddy.
a little bit higher than I have brute force.
Daddy.
So
All right.
we had 3 more to get through. Ben, do we have it?
We're going to get there. My battery's running
All right,
low,
so
I'm charging up.
yeah, same dude. We have to keep these under fucking 4 hours. Next up is none other than Jesus. I don't know if I want to go first or let you
No,
go
you go
first. I think
first.
I'm going to go first.
You go first. I can't go
right.
first.
So for the auction, I gave you a B. Okay. Limited cap space to be active. Did a good job trying to find value adds at positional needs. Like, I understand your game. You waited. You were patient. Like, you didn't have much to work with. So, like, how am I going to grade it? Like, you found some guys, Bobby Trees in there. Like, could be an interesting little, Aaron Rodgers vet. Like, for almost half of what you had. Like, I think available.
Yeah, I had a little more, but yeah.
Good job. For draft, I gave you a B minus. Had a lot of late round flyers to fill taxi squad. I'm just not. I just don't know enough about those type of players to like really evaluate it. I thought Horton was a good pick to try and fill your wide receiver room, which I know you know is a struggle. I love the value on Helm in the early third, who I've activated pretty much everywhere. I think he's a top 15, 18 tight end in the league in the next 2 to 3 years. So I love that. Um, I think your boy making the trade at the quarterback position for $1 was super smart. Like, I mean, he's either the guy or he's not, and like, to lock that in over the next 5 years is pretty good. Solid 1-2 punch at running back. Obviously, you love Henry and Jones. I'm a little bit down on, but like still, like those two in your RB room is pretty fucking awesome. And then I said Justin Jefferson is worth 2 starting wide receivers. So anytime you have him on your roster, you already automatically get a wide receiver 1 and a 2. A little bit worried about how that's going to work this year with the new quarterback, but I'm pretty sure Justin Jefferson is going to do Justin Jefferson things.
Corey, can I just ask a quick question?
Yeah, quick.
Very quick. Do you think Justin Jefferson will be worse with J.J. McCarthy or Nick Mullins? Nick Mullins
No, he's going to be better.
Nick Mullins.
He's going to be better with McCarthy. Yeah.
Nick Mullins was our backup. The year that Kirk Cousins tore his Achilles.
Jefferson's going to be fine. He's a stud.
How would you compare Nick Mullins to J.J. McCarthy? Like, they're similar.
I just haven't seen it. What do you
think
is?
So you think his worst case scenario, he could be worse than Nick Mullins?
No, I don't.
Okay, Justin Jefferson caught 243 yards from Nick Mullins. He caught 193 yards from the Pastronaut Josh Dobbs.
No, I mean Justin Jefferson's a stud. I would take Justin Jefferson.
He might not be coordinator proof because I think Kevin O'Connell's just giving him the ball. But I'm telling you, like, QB be damned. He's worth 2
positional starts at your wide receiver 1 and wide receiver 2.
Yes, and I need it.
I would rank your wide receiver room better than Bauer's wide receiver room with DJ Moore and Luther Burden.
That's nice.
In the short
appreciate
term.
You saying that. I think I might have gave my wide receiver room
So I'm
a
saying
C.
Justin Jefferson will score more points than both of those players combined. That's what I'm
the
saying
Bears
in
are
this year.
Suck this year. I feel bad for you, but I'll take the compliment.
Well, I mean, there's other guys in the offense, though. So, I mean, it does.
Ben Johnson can't get those 2 dogs to score more combined than Justin Jefferson.
Well, you got to worry about Romeo Dobbs. You got to worry about Coastin Loveland. I mean, there's a few other guys.
You mentioned Bobby Trees. I like the Xavier Smith fire I got because he has the 2 return jobs right now. And, like, you could lose it. But, like, if he's a return, I know, like, especially because they're pumping returns, kickoff returns this year, I think kickoff return is going to be worth more than we've ever seen. And I saw a lot of the returners go really high. Like, the Cleveland guy got bid up. Like,
I like this signing.
I just think, like,
Robert Woods could be the reincarnation of Adam Thielen.
I just want him to get like 120 to 150 points. And like with Aaron Rodgers, like being as snooty as he is about his type of wide receiver. Safety. No, it's just like, can you run this route? Can you catch my ball? Like Bobby Trees is dependable. So he might just be like, fuck you, Bobby, get in here. Or Bobby Trees gets cut.
So let me get to your weaknesses. Lack of positional depth at wide receiver, making a Jefferson injury or a off game very dangerous.
Mm-hmm.
Aging running back room. Okay, so it's like Both your running backs are older. We'll need to hit on young linebackers to stay above average against
That's
competition in
very
those four
true.
starting spots.
I think that's the
Yeah.
most crucial. And I gave one sure starter for a lot of darts. Like the trade
Well,
I got
Yvonne
all these
Pace, like
picks was
obviously
like
is
Knight
good,
and
but
Corley, right? So it's like Corley I'm out on, and I'm just like when we were talking about when do you cut bait, like I felt, and I've been wrong before, but
cut
I
it.
felt I had to cut with Corley and I could get value. So I got a lot of picks for him and Knight, who is LB2 in Seattle, but he doesn't grade great. And Ernest Jones is next to him, who's a beast. So like, who knows? You know, I didn't see him as like this sure thing forever. And so when I got the picks to go get it, I did. I did not, in my strategy, get the guys I wanted at linebacker.
Fucking
I
Christ.
had a lot of fallback options that I thought I would get a linebacker, and man, that position went so fast, so high. So I need a lot of luck there. To compete, I have more depth than I ever had, or darts, you know, but like I'm worried about it.
Yeah. Well, I don't know how much we want to spend on our own teams.
We don't have to.
I have you ranked
Would
very,
you
very
rather
high
have
in the
my
division.
safety room or your safety room?
I haven't looked at your safety room, to be honest with
What?
you. Well,
Don't forget about my rookie that's on my squad too. Jesus. Might have one of the sexiest.
I honestly probably like about 25 of the safety rooms in the league over mine. So I'm
Oh
not. I wouldn't
man.
be surprised if I like yours more.
I will say this.
Yeah,
I will
safety
say
room is.
this, Corey. It's important to be said. I almost let
Yeah, I mean
Isaiah
you
Rodgers.
have to
I
sacrifice at
almost
some
let
positions.
Isaiah Rodgers not be on my team. He went way more than I wanted him to. But he's going to return.
Yeah, well,
He's going to return kicks for the Vikings. He's the kick returner too.
yeah.
So
Well, I mean,
if he
I
returns
was
half
definitely
of our
on him.
kicks and is the cornerback too, he could be top five in scoring.
It's amazing what a 1 year leave of absence makes you forget about value,
Yeah,
right?
just go gamble a little bit.
Oh, Donovan Wilson for Gabe Davis. Is that still on the table? All right. Well,
Not
I
after the
have you ranked
prices
very
I
high in the
saw.
division.
Jesus. All right,
All right.
let's go.
All right. We're gonna move on. Next one up
Mr.
is
Candy,
old
the
Mr.
the
Candy.
Candy Man.
We're gonna keep with the same structure. So auction not rateable. There's just no action there. He had very limited capital. Uh, Graph. Jesus, I can't talk. I've had way too many seltzers.
It's fucking 2 in the
B
morning
minus
here,
on the
Corey.
draft
We're doing
grade.
great.
It's late as shit. Had limited early draft capital to get key contributors. Solid use of late round picks for flyers and filling roster spots. Needs Tesla, his stock to keep climbing. To be a contributor early in contract to return value. For strengths, good linebackers, cornerbacks, and safety depth. Will Johnson McDonald, a great 1-2 punch at defensive end. His weaknesses, Amari Cooper contract is just fucking awful, man. Really, really unfortunate. Almost $400 on that travesty. Lack of star talent at every position on offense outside of Kieran Williams. That's who we disagreed with. I didn't have him in my top 15 as a dynasty running back. Who was the other
I
one that
think
was
that's
in there?
totally fair. That's like a
Anyway,
guy would never fight anyone over. But I think if he gets
yeah.
worn out for 2 years, but like we talked about it already, like he could lose his job by the end of the year. It's the least confident I
Well,
felt.
I'm putting JC above both the the rooks with Saquon and Bruce Force, but I do have JC ranked 6
Yeah.
out of the division.
So JC, I think out the gate, after like remembering his like the well, no draft, he just kind of got some rookies. For whatever reason, I instantly was like, he's top 4. And then I looked at his team, and then I kept going like, I'm just talking myself into his team because his team's not good. You know what I mean? It's just like it was. It was funny because it was like 49ers for $65. It's like, is that the worst quarterback contract in the league? Money for value. Like no, quarterbacks are free. You know.
Yeah, I'd rather have the Jets quarterback for $1.
I even gave him a D, like, and which is kind of brutal. Like, but like when everything's cheap, it's hard to say no. Like even like I think the Eagles went for like, $450 or something like that. So, anyways, we don't. His running back core outside of Kyron Williams is like. It can't be recovered, right? So it's like when you look at a position, very important when high scoring, and you're only getting one score from that most likely every week. And then there's a bye where you're getting no scores. Or maybe some of these guys are going to have some special teams. But there can be FAs beside every one of these guys not made Kyron Williams after training camp. It's tough. It's tough. And then, like you said, expensive Amari Cooper. It's like, okay, I like his young guys. I like his drop picks. I like, even
I like Tolbert. I like Samuel.
I just think
I like Wicks.
He's gonna be able to start 5 wide receivers and have good weeks and bad weeks. He
doesn't. Well, Evans Mitchell maybe tight end. He doesn't have a tight end.
I think he'll figure it out. On wide receiver, he'll like somehow score enough points. Tight end's a disaster, right?
Yeah.
I don't know. I mean, a lot of darts.
You just never count out JC, man. Like I'm rooting for that guy. He has a fucking banner, Like I don't know how he gets it done, but like he knows this game and he's active and he figures it out.
His linebackers are good enough to carry a lot of his efficiencies and offense. And like I like Chop Robinson, I like Will McDonald, so it's like those two guys start. I like Jordan Birch. If he hits this year or next, like I think he's good. Like kind of everywhere. So like if he gets the white hot no injury bug and then gets a couple injuries that make some of his starters go.
How much do you have to pay to get rid of Amari Cooper? Like a second round pick? I mean, it's just.
I don't know the answer to that, but I do know with that contract, there could be a trade that like shifts his team, like in a seismic way.
Yeah.
Like I haven't looked at his abilities, but it's like, let's say he's like Amari Cooper and a first and a second round pick, and then fill his roster weaknesses. Like all of a sudden, this is a good team because he's like top heavy, like Mando, right? Like where you're like, shit, you need more guys or something to work out.
Well,
but
you can't compare.
No. Nobody can be compared to Mando, but I'm just saying, like, Candy could be last in the league if he has the 6 wrong injuries. You can't say that about a lot of teams. I think if he has a lot of injury luck go his way, he can also be like a surprise playoff team. Because he has like these depths at these positions and maybe it works out,
Yeah.
Let's get to Mando. Let's get
Robinson
to Mando
McDonald.
because he is.
Yeah, we got to finish this up.
He's the stupidest
All right,
team
so
I've ever seen.
I've never seen anything like it. I have 4% on my battery. I'm running out of juice. Mandy, no draft capital available. Good try on the trying to get involved, man. No dice. Sorry. Yeah, no draft capital. Okay. Absolutely loaded with vet stars at running back and defensive end. Solid wide receiver room with one of the best wide receiver contracts in Nico Collins. Depth in Mims, Pittman, and Palmer. I mean, studs, man. He has studs everywhere. It's really hard to understand how you will compete if injuries happen to stars or on bye weeks. He has zero maneuverability, but has an absolutely loaded top 22 players. So what do you do with it? I've never seen anything like it where you have 28 people rostered, zero depth, and just fucking studs everywhere.
He's been at it for 2-3 years. To the running back position. 3 guys.
3 studs. How many of them are in the top 15 in the Dynasty rankings?
Hey, man. Dancing in the dark. 2 of them on mine.
Ugh.
You know, on yours.
Oh, Mandy.
I remember
50 Shades of the
all
Way.
my life. Shadows of a man.
Jesus, man.
So, his wide receivers.
He's got Trey McBride at tight end. Ugh.
And nobody else. So it's
He can't even fill it.
He's starting 3 running backs. He needs to start his tight end. And then he's starting 3 wide receivers. So it's okay. Nico Collins, Marvin Mims, maybe somebody else, and Pittman. Great.
Don't know.
And then you're okay, cool.
I don't want to see him.
Well, do you want to go against Dexter Lawrence or the new Milton Williams who has $120 million?
I don't want to see Mando in any single week.
And then you're he's going to start all 3 of his DNs unless Josh Sweat sucks. But I think his DNs are so stupid. And there's only 3. And then you go to, okay.
Yeah.
I'm very upset.
Amazing job though.
How did he get Deontay Johnson for $1?
He doesn't even have bye week issues that much.
Yes, he does. He's all top heavy.
Well, but outside of injury, outside of a couple of bye week complications, defensive tackle, he has them both on week 14, so he can't start a defensive tackle in week 14, which is what? A playoff?
Safety might be in a rotational role spot, but it's
well, he's gonna have to move a stud in order to open up cap space and get depth. There's no question about it. What he does to do it, I don't know. It's gonna be one of the most interesting first 4 weeks of the season, because if he collects 4 wins in the first 4 weeks and then has a stud,
somebody's going to give him the fucking worst trade we've ever seen in our life, and he'll win everything.
Ugh. I hope he does. He deserves it.
I'm not saying he doesn't deserve it, but if you have 28 players and are the favorite possibly to win the league, I feel
well, I could not put anybody above him. That's
not in our division.
That's the crazy part.
We'll go through the rest of the league, but in our division, there's nobody better than Mando, and he's 6 injuries away from being a lottery team.
I'll take my chances. I'll take my chances against him in week 14. It's
well, if he gets to week 14 and he's got injuries, he's taking zeros at positions. Unless
zero.
At first I was okay, well, we have 3 of these really juicy well,
he
free
can't
agency
practice
periods.
with pads
He's got
on.
$5. He's got $5. He can get
He
5
can't practice
players
with pads on, Ben.
dude.
He can't practice with pads
he
on.
needs
he literally just needs to
he needs an IRO spot. He needs somebody to tear an Achilles tomorrow, so he has money for these juicy little free agents. Periods.
That is the one thing that I didn't evaluate over the long term is how much draft capital people have going into next year. But I mean, whatever.
I think if I had to guess, Mando has 0.
I would guess too.
If I had to guess, I haven't drank enough to wish picks into my existence, so I have 0. Yeah. There's a lot of people with no picks this year or next year.
He needs a boob reduction at some point.
I don't know, man. 50 Shades of the Way is looking good. Did we make it through it? Is it 2 a.m.? It's 2 a.m. I must be lonely.
I'm
Jesus.
Right here.
Mama, I'm coming home.
Yeah, even Mia
All right, dude.
somehow is still awake looking at me like your podcast is long. But you know what?
There's 2 million,
We're in
2 million
depth.
listeners.
We're in depth. Yeah, when you have 2 million
I just hope
listeners,
some
you
of
have
it's
to
recorded.
give the full Monty.
How do you think that house is paid for, Mia?
Yeah, I wish you could hear you. Man, this podcast is
All right,
paying
buddy.
the bills, baby.
This was
If you are still
an
listening
experience.
out there, thank you for staying to the end. This was
Eat a dick.
This is a real nice analysis that took
I can't wait.
a long time.
Wait for you to cut that one up, Ben.
Longer than
All right.
I think I can get
Have some-
18 seconds off of the final cut time. We'll be fine.
I am just drastically fearful that none of this was recorded and that we would have to do it all over again because I'm very scared at this point. I don't even see how to leave it and shut the recording off.
I think
And
the
have not
one
touched
thing
a
we
single
know
thing.
is if we have to record it again and we're annoyed, we've done that well in the past, we'll probably do it in 45 minutes. So maybe it's better for
I
everyone.
love you, dude.
Yeah, you too, homie. Let's get
I love you.
get to bed.
All right, bye.
Love y'all.
Can't even leave it. I don't know. Oh, we got it.